All right. Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your host, Mr. BDA, with you, flying solo for this evening. Thank you guys for joining us. You know the drill. If you want to join us, go to Google Hangouts. Send us an instant message via the email address that's on the top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That's boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Don't forget, you can also download these episodes on Spreaker. That way you don't have to spend your hard-earned bandwidth. You can put this episode or any other of the past episodes on your MP3 player, in your iPod, whatever they fucking call it, your smartphone, and you can listen to it at your leisure. Also, don't forget, we have a Patreon page, and you can make small donations here, give small tips via the super chat feature. We are trying to get this call-in show off the ground. That way we can allow you guys to talk to us via your telephone. And we might do a couple of midnight shows, talk to a bunch of truck drivers, taxi drivers, night walkers, a bunch of night people. Maybe even get a vampire or two on the show. So again, thanks guys for joining us. I see we already have a couple people here in the chat. Shout out to Rasclaw222, John Gonzalez, Pavel, I should say, Mr. Coxey, Brandon White, We Degree, John Gonzalez, the one and only. Who else? Mario G, shout out to Mario. Alright guys, I'm going to be sending the links to the usual suspects in a couple of minutes. Again, keep in mind, I am flying solo today, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to get this going. But man, listen, I got to tell you something. I don't want to be Mr. Negativity, but it seems to me like this summer has been a little bit lackluster compared to past summers when it comes to boxing. Usually the summer is it's the strong season. And you're supposed to have we're supposed to have Canelo versus Triple G, the rematch. That didn't happen back in May. Usyk versus Gassiev, which is perhaps the best fight in boxing right now in terms of matchmaking or on paper, I should say. And it didn't happen. Or it hasn't happened, and they're still haggling or quarreling over the location of the fight. But still, it's a pretty good one. And as we spoke about earlier this week with some of our panelists, you know, Spence against Ocampo, yes, it's a bit of a mismatch, but it's Errol Spence. You know, I mean, he's a fairly entertaining fella. He's got an entertaining style and skills to back it up. So I enjoy watching him. So let's see how he looks. Also, the undercard, not Carlos Ocampo. What's his name? Moises Flores, the guy that everybody thinks threw the fight against Guillermo Rigondeaux. What was it? 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. He's going to be taking on Danny Roman, who I believe is undefeated. Don't take my word for it. Let me check his record out before I continue spewing any misinformation here. All right, I sent one link. I'll be sending more as I go along, but I can't do two things at the same time. This type of multitasking is something that's very hard to do when you're trying to host a show and at the same time take care of invites. No, Daniel Roman actually is not undefeated, but he does have a good record so far. He's been on a large winning streak since his last loss in 2013. So it should be an interesting fight. But the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Javier Fortuna, the southpaw from the Dominican Republic, against Adrian Granados, the always tough Adrian Granados. So keep your eye out for that one. Should be pretty interesting. Joyce apparently is fighting right now, or did he win already? Keep me updated in the chat room. Forget about spoilers. It's not a big fight. So we'll keep an eye on that one. A lot of news going on as well. Lots to talk about regards to Spence. What are people in the chat room saying? Pavel saying that's right. Greg, shout out to Greg, says what's up. John Gonzalez says what's up, Foulpole. Oh, Foulpole's in the chat room. Shout out to Foulpole as well. Greg says where is the fight stream? That's why I included in the title of this video. No fight stream. No streaming of the fight. We're just talking about the upcoming fight. And then we're going to end this probably in about an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want to spend 3 hours. I got some stuff to do. I'd love to stay longer and talk with you guys. It's a pleasure always having guys here. But at the moment, it's kind of hard to I can't do 3 hours. By the way, we got Stu on the line.
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen with Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All right, Stu, are you there?
Man?
Not much, man. Just good to have you on board as always. And we got this.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to wait till the Josh Kelly fight had finished, but I could see you was on your own and needed a bit of help, so I popped on.
First of all, I appreciate your goodwill and your good intentions, but I don't need any help. All right, you're talking to Mr. BDA here. He can carry a show all by himself with a bunch of people, whatever. So I appreciate you trying to help.
You're the Chris Eubank Jr. podcast. You don't need any help, do you, man?
Yeah, that's the perfect comparison right there, man. But listen, good to have you on board, Stu. Always appreciate you coming on. And let's start out with the big guy, Errol Spence. Let me tell you something. I was thinking about this in the morning while I was drinking my coffee, and I thought we're having a little bit of Triple G reflux syndrome here. And what I mean by that is, remember a couple of years ago where everybody thought Triple G was invincible and that he was going to have to go up to light heavyweight to finally find some sort of challenge? And he ended up fighting a challenge in Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez. So do you think people are, exaggerating a bit? The same thing with Errol Spence? Like they're assuming he's just going to walk through everybody?
I mean, when you start getting to middleweight, the difference from welterweight to middleweight is a massive step. So I believe Spence could go up to 154 and be a threat, be one of the main guys in that division. But asking him to go up to 160 and saying he's going to go for all these guys like Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders and especially Triple G. I mean, there's a reason we have weight divisions, BDA.
Absolutely.
And 13 pounds doesn't sound a lot to people like me and you, but I guarantee in a boxing ring it's a hell of a lot. And especially like I said, Spence is a big welterweight, so I'm not saying he's a natural welterweight, so the jump is not as big as some welterweights, let's just say that, but it's still a big jump. And I think once you get to middleweight, it's a different. I don't think Spence would be this monster in the middleweight division, just put it that way. I think he'd hold his own, but he definitely wouldn't be the monster like GGG.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I think Before we even start, I agree. Before we even start talking about Errol Spence at middleweight, let's see how he does against some of the other elite welterweights, right? Because he hasn't even fought Porter, he hasn't fought Keith Thurman, he hasn't fought Terence Crawford. Let's hold back the hyperbole a little bit and see him
exactly.
clear.
I mean, there's massive threats from at 147, and even bigger threats, I think, at 154. I mean, you've got a rematch with Kell Brook, which would be a very good fight. You know, a healthy Kell Brook is going to put on a better show. Whether he wins or not, it's a different story. But you've got Jared Hurd, who looks like he's a serious threat. You know, you've got Charlo there. So there's some massive fights from at 147 and 154. So before we start talking about him going up and fighting the king of the middleweight division for the last fucking 6-7 years, let's just calm down here a little bit and let's see what he does when he gets in there with say a Crawford or a Thurman or a Porter, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm not ready to talk about middleweight division yet. No way.
Absolutely. Very well said, man. Very well said. And before we introduce some of our other panelists, I just want to say, people might not remember it nowadays, but back in the day, in 2003, Ricardo Mayorga had run through Vernon Forrest and then had him so scared in the rematch that he had Forrest stumbling all over himself in the ring. And I remember people in the chat rooms and in the message boards were saying, "Wow, Ricardo Mayorga, it's gonna take a middleweight, Bernard Hopkins, to stop him." Ricardo Mayorga runs through everybody at welterweight, and everybody.
But Trinidad, look what Felix Trinidad did to him, though. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's my point. It's like,
right.
These people assume that, well, he looked great against... First of all, yeah, he looked great against Kell Brook, but he also he displayed a lot of vulnerabilities. Don't get me wrong, Errol Spence is a monster in there, but he can be hit. And what happens if he finds somebody that can hit him and that he can catch as easily as Kell Brook? See where I'm going with this?
I know exactly where you're going, because when Mayorga stopped Vernon Forrest, this guy looked a monster, to be fair, didn't he? But I think he'd still been beat. Let's be real. He wasn't an unbeaten fighter. He'd still been beat. I'm sure he had. But he looked a monster in there. When you think Shane Mosley, this guy dealt with Shane Mosley quite comfortably twice. And for me, Shane Mosley at the time was one of the pound for pound fighters and best in the world. And Vernon Forrest dealt with them quite comfortably. And then Mayorga just steamrolls through Vernon Forrest. So yeah. It just proves that styles make fights, because Mosley went on to beat Mayorga quite comfortably after losing to Forrest. So styles make fights. So Spence is going to come in there with a style that's going to trouble him, because, like I said, there's not a fighter out there for me. Probably Lomachenko is probably the one guy that could cope with all styles. And I don't think there's a guy out there that could cope with all styles, and that includes Golovkin, to be honest with you.
See, that's a good point. It takes a guy, versatile fighter, to be able to deal with most styles and still remain undefeated. Not everybody can do it. I mean, say what you want about Floyd Mayweather, but he could fight multiple styles. Yes, there were certain styles that bothered him more than others, but he could still find a way to beat them. I don't know about Errol Spence yet. And by the way, before we continue, we do have...
See, the thing is with Spence, bro, quickly, with Floyd, he could neutralize his opponent's best weapons. That was his skills. I don't think Spence has got that in him. Spence is just he's the one that just worries about his own work. I don't think he can nullify another guy's work, if you know what I'm saying. Well, when it gets a bit tough, where Floyd can make it look fucking boring, kind of get on the back foot and stink the joint out, hold and jab, and I don't think Spence has got that in him, to be honest with you. I think if he gets dragged into a war with a big guy, it could cost him.
Exactly. I want to see how he handles multiple styles, and what happens if he fights a guy like Crawford, who has sensational footwork and can keep him turning. By the way, again, we got Recognize the Matrix on the line.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
And we also have Pavel on the line. Pavel, I still haven't found an introduction for you, but let me tell you something. You keep bringing the fire. Down the line, you're getting that introduction soon. Believe me, all right?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up, BDA, Stu? Recognize what's popping.
What's happening, Pavel?
Brother?
Hello, guys.
BDA, take your time with that intro, you know? It's got to be quality stuff.
That's true. Yes, that's true. It can't be a half-assed fucking intro. If it's gonna be done, it's gonna be done correct. Believe me. Recognize as well. Thanks for being here. We're just talking about Errol Spence and yeah, go ahead, Stu. Stu?
I didn't say anything. I coughed.
Oh, okay. I
coughed, brother.
Yeah, I thought you said BDA, go fuck yourself. Anyway, I wanted to say, Boxing KO comments in the chat room says Errol Spence has not been tested. Now I disagree with that because he did fight and disposed of a very good Chris Algieri, and then of course Kell Brook, and even if you want to count Lamont Peterson. So, but does he have a point like that we still haven't?
I don't know. What does he mean? What does he mean by tested, bro? Because the way he looked at the weigh-in, I mean, he probably means steroid tested. Because the guy had fucking 8 abs.
You know something. I saw a video by the guy goes by the name of Fight Scout on YouTube.
Oh yes, shout out to Fight Scout.
This is his thing. I don't really try to get into the whole steroid thing, other than I think they all take it at the elite level. But if one of the signs of steroid or shooting up steroids is mosquito bites or these injection sites, as they call them, right? If that's one of the signs, which I see in the gym, some of the gyms that I go and work out, and some of the guys that are known steroid guys, like they don't have anything to hide. They take steroids. Then that's definitely a red flag.
So
but again,
you guys
that has
think
nothing to do with the fighter in terms of what he's capable of doing. Now, if he's taken like that and the other fighter's not, then I would say it's unfair.
Well, Pavel sent me a photograph. I'm going to put it up on the screen in a couple of seconds. But I mean, is that what you're getting at, Pavel, as well, with the photograph, that there's something fishy going on here?
Oh, look, for me, it's an obvious thing. Just look at the difference in the midsection between Ocampo and Spence. The vascularity, like recognized, brought up before, mosquito bites and multiple mosquito bites. It's not like it's only one or two. I mean, it's crazy. I have no doubt that Spence is gonna steamroll the guy, and I know that it's quite early to give a prediction, and I won't give it right now. You know, that the detailed one, but still, oh my God, it's quite ridiculous. When you see the difference, and you gotta think about who exactly allows to get by the testing, the fighter testing for PEDs. Because, you can say what you want, but Canelo is like the money maker machine, and he got popped, and Spence is still going on that cycle untouched. So you got to think about what's going on.
You know what? You guys, I suppose, especially recognize, I think he already said as well, but you guys subscribe to the Precise Puncher school of thought that almost all the top guys are on something, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think, and I don't think there's the only problem I have with PEDs and testing is the big double standards, the big hypocrisy that, you could look at somebody, you can just look at the obvious two athletes, and one guy gets busted and he looks like he's not on anything. And meanwhile, they're praising a guy who looks like Spence. Again, I like Spence. I personally like his style. I don't care what the fuck he's taking. The only thing I would hate to find out is that Spence is taking to the max and then making sure that his opponents are not taking. If I hear that, then I'm going to be like, this is fake.
What's happening,
see it.
exactly.
That's what's happening, bro. What I see from a lot from the PBC fighters, they play this clean boxing card. We want boxing to be clean, tested, but they're the only ones that are not getting tested. Deontay Wilder, his opponents are getting tested like 6-7 times in a camp. This guy's not even getting tested once. Errol Spence, not one test for this fight coming up. Hasn't had any test or nothing. And you look at the shape he's in, man. The guy's got fucking 8 abs. Do you know what I mean?
8. He's got like 12. He's got a 12. Like I don't think I've ever seen anybody with abs like that. Honestly, I'm just talking about the abs.
I'll tell you what, it's gonna take a good shot to stop him to the body, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? I gotta give a shout out to Falpol Boxing in the chat room. He mentioned that Spence is not doing VADA. I think he's on USADA protocol, right? But it tells you everything. I mean, it's no governing body in terms of PD testing is really credible. To be honest, it's all about either money or something else.
You see, the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao
Oh yeah,
situation, that confirmed it for me. Floyd was a fraud. Like I had my suspicion when it came to him, when he brought up the whole drug testing thing and wanting to bring drug testing into boxing,
yeah,
instead of the normal protocol state athletic commission test. When he wanted to add more, I was like, wait a second, why would you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to add your own
exactly.
drug testing? And when that situation happened, I said, okay, that confirmed everything to me, what I thought. When I saw him stronger in the ring versus Sugar Shane Mosley, and I looked at his body size, I said, no, there's something wrong going on here. There's no way he should be stronger than a guy who lifted 400 pounds. He bench pressed 400 pounds before. I mean, there's just no way.
You bring a good point, and it all started in the mid 2000s, right?
Correct.
And
yeah.
And come on! I've got this guy in the chat saying we're being miserable and we're hating, and stating facts is not hating. I mean, well, I don't even know if we can call it facts, but I mean, it's called connecting the dots. If you know a little bit about steroids and about body shapes and boxing, you usually know a fighter that's on peds. You can usually see, and it's not rocket science when you look at Errol Spence, is it? I mean, the guy's walking in the ring like fucking Clubber Lang, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean?
But you know what? I think.
I mean, listen,
Let me just read real. Recognize. Let me just read real quick a couple of comments before it gets too crowded in here. Boxing KO comment says Spence's nipples fluctuate. Sometimes they are normal and sometimes they are puffy. Either he's on the PED or the LDBC has been breastfeeding on his nipples. That's Boxing KO comments who came up with that one. Jesus. But he's got a good point. I mean, well, actually, go ahead. Recognize. What were you going to say?
I'm sorry. Listen, what I was going to say, look, just to state my position, I don't care who takes what. I think it's perfect for high-level sports of any sport, right? The only thing I don't like with boxing especially is this double standard. They use it as a weapon. I'm not saying they're doing that with Spence, although I wouldn't doubt it, until proven otherwise. I'm going to say it is what it is.
Yeah, the thing that makes,
one more thing, Stu. If you do it, if you're going to use it as a weapon against the fighter you want to lose, then that's where I lose respect for it.
Yeah, it's
I don't respect that.
Yeah, it's cowardice.
Not saying that Spence is doing that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to use it as a weapon, then that's the shit I don't like.
Yeah, see, my problem is, like I said, if you're going to use it, then let your opponent use it to even it up a little bit. You've got Errol Spence doing Ivan Drago steroid fucking testing in somewhere in Moscow where he's getting injected with things and all sorts of fucking experiments. You know he is. Look at the size of him. And then you've got Ocampo who's probably getting tested for Lucozade Sport. So you've got to be, you got to make this fair, ain't you? You can't have one guy juicing to the gills and then another guy not allowed to take anything. So this is my problem with steroids. I mean, I don't really want to get into this steroid talk because it can go on for a bit and it's
too late.
It ruins the box talk, because then we start taking credibility from fighters, a bit of skills and a power, because we think, well, he's a ped user, so he's a cheat. So we look down at their skills when we shouldn't do, really, because I don't think peds make you a better fighter. They just make you stronger and fitter, and your injuries heal a lot quicker and so on.
Well, and go ahead, Pavel.
No, I'm just gonna say, BDA, I didn't mean to break you up. Just to sum up this short PED talk, it's all about, like you said it before, level playing field. I mean, if you let one guy that is, with better future, more profitable to the sport, juice to the gills, and the other challengers not, it's like, come on, either allowed to juice everybody or just forbid drug testing altogether.
I mean,
And
yeah. Because Ocampo, he walked into the weigh and he had the body of a fucking. He had the body of a 10-year-old girl, didn't he? I mean, just no muscle.
natural.
No, he just had no. He had no muscle or nothing. He was just bone. It was just bone. It was like something from fucking. It was like seeing someone come from Auschwitz come to the fucking weigh.
Or you know what I mean. It's like maybe we get so used to those PED-ridden bodies that maybe that's actually a Ocampo's body that's looking natural.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like he was struggling at the weight himself because he looked really skinny and withdrawn.
Well, people are saying
he might be
saying
struggling at the weight, but Spence looked very comfortable at the weigh-in. I mean, fucking hell, it's amazing how he does it.
People are saying that it's those superior genes, and that's why he looks better.
That's the way we preach. That's right.
And by the way, we got before we continue, we got Precise on the line.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
That's right. You gotta have standards. And speaking of standards, Precise, I know, first of all, thank you for being here. Always appreciate you having you on the show. You've been one of the most outspoken people about PEDs and how everybody uses them. I think if you wouldn't mind, for anybody that's new in listening, a new listener, you say everybody's on it, right? Almost all the top fighters are on something.
Well, I mean, you know what, BD? Let me put it to you this way. I wasn't even gonna get on the show tonight, but I heard you guys dissing my boy. I figured I'd jump on here and defend Slim Buter, Errol Spence.
Uh-huh.
But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? It's okay to notice it, point it out, but that's just how the game is played. Boxing's always been corrupt. It always will be. I do believe everybody is on it, which still doesn't make it a level playing field, because if you're dodging testers left, right, and center all the time, it puts a limit on what you can use versus, you still could be using, but maybe you can't use all the substances that you want to, versus a guy who does one test here and there or none at all is basically free to do everything. So in my humble opinion, everybody is on performance enhancing drugs, legal or illegal, doesn't matter. I draw no distinction. But what are you gonna do, man? And as far as for all you fucking haters out there, as far as Errol Spence not doing any drug testing, I don't know where you guys got that idea, because he's on the exact same protocol that Juan Manuel Marquez was on in that Pacquiao fight. So fuck you.
Well, there you go. Like Stu said, I don't think anybody here really wants to revisit the whole PED issue. I mean, like Precise said, you have to assume most guys are on it, and there's nothing much that we can do. I mean, we can voice our opinion in a perfect world if everybody decided to do some sort of a protest and not watch any more boxing, maybe. But then again, that's not going to happen. We're all a bunch of degenerate scumbag junkies for boxing. But speaking, let's talk about the actual fight. Errol Spence is fighting Carlos Ocampo, who I don't know if you guys have seen him. I'm seeing him fight. You can catch his fights on Daily Motion and on YouTube. He's not impressive at all. He's no Jamie Munguia. Was that?
Why were you watching this fight, Speedy? Were you really bored or something? Why were you watching this guy's fights?
First of all, I like to do my research when I'm going into a fight. But seriously, I mean, the guy, he's no Jamie Munguia. He's not a power puncher.
This fight's not even on TV in the UK, bro. It's not on TV, man.
Well, there you go. But here's my point. Here's my question to you guys. When Golovkin fought Martirosyan, we almost all knew that it was going to be a one-sided, not that we knew it was going to be one-sided, but on paper it was pretty clear Golovkin was going to be the winner. On this one, it's the same thing, and yet, like with Golovkin, when he fought Martirosyan, we all watched because we said, hey, it's Golovkin. Do you guys feel the same way about Errol Spence because he has an exciting style and he goes in to finish his opponents?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course I do. I like watching Spence fight. I like anyone that lets their hands go and knocks people out. I don't want to watch Rigondeaux. I don't want to watch these fighters like that. It's just, people call me a casual boxing because I'm not a boxing snob, because I don't like a back foot fighter that throws four punches around, stinks the joint out. I mean, if that makes me a boxing snob liking that sort of boxing, then I'll never be one. So I like to see guys come out and throw their hands. This is why I like to watch Gervonta Davis. I think he's a very exciting talent when he's throwing his hands. I think Spence is the same. He's a strong dude, and he knocks people out. What else can we ask for?
I agree with Stu, but let's not compare this bum with Marty Rojan, right? Marty Rojan was someone we knew. He's been on TV many times. He fought at the top level. We knew what quality of fighter he was. And Ocampo could turn out to be, I don't know, he could turn out to be a great fighter and all, but no one knows who he is. So it's a lot more difficult to get excited for that fight.
Varnes is a lot bigger name, let's be real.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, no one said anything about this. You know, this Errol Spence has got a pass for this fight. I mean, I don't know if he's been demanded. Did they demand it on him on a mandatory or something? I don't know, because I don't know why he's taken this.
It is his mando.
Yeah, well,
it is his mando. But this is what's
this is the IBF for you, mate. The mandatory.
Yeah, this is what's irking me a little bit, because when Kell Brook had that title and he was fighting his IBF mandatories, he got a bunch of flack. Yeah. And now that Errol Spence has fought 2 bums in a row, I mean, or is fighting the second bum in a row, he kind of gets a pass for it. But what are you gonna do, man? This just what it is, man. And yes, Lamont Peterson is a bum at this point in his career.
Are you saying he looks?
That's a very good point.
Are you saying that he looks like a bum physically, like with the long beard and everything, or are you saying he's a bum in terms of resume or as a fighter?
He's trash, man. He arguably lost to Avanesian. Arguably. I thought he won the fight, but man, was it close. And who the fuck is Avanesian? No disrespect to boxing style, you know what I mean? I heard he's Armenian.
Oh, yeah. He's always going on about the Holocaust and all that. I mean, it's nonstop with the guy. Come on, let it go. But listen, to Spence's credit, let's say Lamont Peterson was indeed a bum. Don't you give Spence some sort of credit for taking the guy out within 5 rounds?
Yeah, I mean, he gets credit. He gets about as much credit as Brook got for, who was it, Frankie Gavin or whoever the fuck it was. I don't even know. It's about the same for me.
Yeah, Lamont Peterson is a natural 140 fighter. He's not a 147 fighter. Let's be real.
He's also 34 years old.
Yeah. The size of Spence is probably a natural 154 fighter. That's a lot of size difference and a lot of power for a start. And Lamont Peterson's, let's be real, he's took a few beatings in his career. I mean, he's been in some good fights. I mean, but he's most top fights he's been dropped numerous times, and so.
Every time he stepped up, he lost, unless he was cheating. You know.
Well, Khan's the only one you can really. And Danny, to be fair, though, I think he could have got the win against Danny. I think he robbed Danny. Danny robbed him, to be honest with you.
I thought he lost that fight, but you could make a case either way. But I mean, I just never saw Peterson as anything special. Good fighter, but let's see what he does in his next fight. Let's see if he has anything left, because it looked to me like he was done versus Errol Spence. He just couldn't do anything. He didn't have a game plan, nothing. He was just walking into punches like a dummy. So he looked like a bum in that fight.
Well, I think it's to Spence's credit that he was. I mean, it speaks about his quality that he didn't struggle against Lamont. I mean, take a look at Danny Garcia. That's a guy who he's not a bum, but he's a solid B-level guy. And I think at this point Spence is above a B level. I don't know if he's an A+ guy, but he's definitely an A guy.
We're not saying Spence ain't a good fight. I mean, I think Pugilism in the chat just wants us to suck Errol Spence off for an hour and a half just to keep him happy, so he feels good about himself tonight. But he's in the wrong place if that's what he's coming for.
My goodness gracious.
Well, he is, and if he wants a little fucking ego, little boost, he's in the wrong place. So at the end of the day, Errol Spence is a grade A fighter, but my precise point is his opponents haven't been. With good win against Kell Brook, yes, that's a good win. But after that, we've seen average. So we want to see this guy step up.
And this is the point: the better you are, the more flack you're gonna get for fighting bums. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. If you're really that good, and we believe you are, we're not gonna be happy with this fight. I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm just saying, well, what is there to get excited about? That's all I'm saying. And let's judge Errol Spence, because last I checked, he was on all these pound for pound lists. he should be catching the same kind of heat that Lomachenko got for Mariaga, even though Mariaga was a better fighter than this guy, or Triple G for Vanes, even though this guy has not proved, at least not yet, that he's even on that level. So, if Spence is going to share the pound for pounders with these guys and they're going to catch all this flack for fighting better opponents, where's the criticism of Spence? That's all we're saying. We're not saying Spence sucks, nor are we really trying to criticize him. We're just putting things in context, I think.
Well, listen, precise, like we talked about on what was it, on Thursday's show or Wednesday's show, when somebody has an opinion of you, it's already dead set in their mind, and no matter what you say, they're going to interpret it as hating. And so no matter what we say about him, like Stu said, unless we start sucking off on Spence, they're going to think we're hating. So it's the name of the game. You can't, if these people are that quick to pull the trigger on somebody in terms of opinions, then I don't care about what they think about my opinion. I don't care about theirs. It's as simple as that. So, Spence is a good fighter. He has fought some great opposition and taking them out. He took out Chris Algieri, took out Brook, took out Peterson, took out Bondu. So he's very, very good. But Precise does bring up a good point. I mean, come on, he's fighting a guy that hasn't fought anybody and hasn't beaten anybody. So I think some criticism. Look, maybe it wasn't Spence's fault. He fights who he's told. He's with Al Heyman, and right now I don't know what's going on with the welterweight division with Thurman dropping out, going AWOL, and then you got Garcia and Porter are tied up with each other. So I don't think Spence had much of a choice. But at the end of the day, let's give him a bit of a pass for this one. And let's see who he fights next. Supposedly he's going to be fighting the winner of Porter and Garcia. And by the way, guys, I think Spence said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read earlier this week that Spence picks or favors Garcia over Porter. Is he seeing something we're not?
No, because Spence would rather fight Garcia than Porter. That's why, because it's a lot easier fight for him.
I agree.
Well, I definitely think it's an easier fight. He knows it's an easier fight, but I don't think he... Well, actually, you know what? Maybe he knows if Garcia wins, it would be easier money. Like I've said before, Peterson was putting it on Garcia in the last couple of rounds. So imagine what's... Yeah.
Spence will fight either of them.
Exactly,
Spence will fight anyone in that division. We're not saying that. We're just saying right now, you want us to big up this opponent that he's fighting tonight. That's not even... I can't even watch it because British TV couldn't even be bothered to pick this shit up. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not even going to buy. It's Father's Day tomorrow in the UK. I've got to pick my kids up. So I'm not going to watch this fight. I'll probably catch it on YouTube the next day or something. Well, I can't watch it, can I? Unless I go on a stream, and I ain't doing that. So this fight's it's a meaningless fight. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, were we getting excited for Dominic Wade when he was slated to fight Golovkin? Was anybody excited about that fight? Did anybody give Golovkin massive props for dispatching that guy? I mean, it's the same sort of thing. Except at least Dominic Wade beat kind of somebody, kind of beat him, I guess. I don't know. It's like you said, BDA. People are going to get into their feelings, but it is what it is. Anyway, man, I got a jet, so you guys have a great show. I just wanted to defend my boy Spence from all these baseless accusations, and I'm gonna listen in. So keep your mouth shut about me. Your mouth shut about me, please. And thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So yeah. By the way, Stu was saying that who was gonna fight Precise and kick him in the ball? It was Pavel, right? Like we were talking about who wins a hypothetical between Pavel and Precise. Precise, do you have any fighting experience, School of Hard Knocks, or any martial arts experience?
Do I?
Yeah. Anything?
No, not really. Not really.
Anything that you can use to counter Pavel's...
Bring it on.
Well, yeah, anything that you can use to counter Pavel's kick to the nuts.
Try to bait you guys.
I was always a bookworm and a nerd, and that's me basically. So
you'll set a trap.
Right. Huh?
You'd set a trap. You wouldn't go head to head with Pavel. You'd set a trap and use your mind to mastermind some sort of like a trap or some sort of an encampment where he gets caught entangled between some sort of net, and then you go for the kill.
Wait. Isn't he like 5'8" or something?
I don't know. No, I think you're confusing him with reversely.
I'm 5'7".
5'7". Well, seeing as I'm 6 foot, that wouldn't be a fair fight. So you get a pass this time.
Precise showing confidence there.
And you know what?
He's 5'7", 180, right?
I don't think so. No.
No. And you know what? Never underestimate the old man's strength.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All
Asshole.
right, there you go.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, there you have it. Precise, thanks for being on, and hopefully maybe you can give us a couple of more comments later on down the line if you have the time. Returning to Spence, like I said, I want to see him fight, even if he does fight a guy that's outmatched. I just want to see how he looks. I love it when he goes to the body, works both sides of the body with the right hook and with the left uppercut to the body. And like again, he said supposedly he picks Garcia to beat Porter, but again, the fight I'm looking forward to the most, Crawford. Yes, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence.
That's gonna be a tremendous fight. That's pay-per-view in America for me. That's just the fight I want to see. I mean, it's two different styles. Two guys at the top of their game, at their peak. I mean, can't ask for a better. I think that's a better fight than the Thurman fight for me. I think Spence beats Crawford, to be honest with you. I think Crawford leaves himself wide open.
Yeah.
When he's in range, and he throws wide shots as well, like I've said before.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I think he just hangs around in that pocket a bit too long, Crawford, when he's throwing his hands, and that's the worst thing you can do with a monster.
He better
like
not
Spence.
fight. He better not fight southpaw. He better not even entertain that.
To fight,
against, Spence.
No, he'd have to fight like he did against Postel, if you get what I'm saying. That sort of style. If he goes to war with Spence, it's going to be a quick night, I think.
Yeah, well, we've used that. We've talked about that earlier this week. Also, I don't think you guys want to talk more about Canelo Triple G2, right? I think we're all pretty tired of that one. Or you tell me.
Let it go where it goes.
Let it go, please.
All right, I agree.
I think I'd rather talk about Pacquiao Marquez 5. Do you know what I mean? Let's talk about that instead.
Well, that's an interesting thing because I'm not all up. What's his name? Artorius Boxing, shout out to Artorius. He made a video. I didn't see the video, but I saw the thumbnail, and he's talking about how Marquez ducked Pacquiao, and he himself admitted, Marquez, that he didn't want to fight him again because he was afraid he was going to get robbed, and if he lost,
I'll tell you what it was, BDA, because Pacquiao would have made him take steroid tests in the rematch because it was clear Marquez was on him. I mean, he came in the ring looking like fucking Lou Ferrigno. I mean. But the muscles on his shoulders, the veins in his arms. This was a new man. Go back and look at the Marquez. Go back and look at the soft body Marquez that fought Mayweather. Go and look at that Marquez compared to the Marquez that fought Pacquiao in the fourth fight. I mean, it was just two different men. It's like, come on, man. Marquez,
he took a beating to win by knockout. He took a beating to win.
And let's be real. That shot, I mean, Marquez still carrying his power after all that punishment he took, and it was late on in the fight as well, still carrying that sort of power. Shows you. I mean, for me, the most obvious steroid user in boxing history. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can say are using them, but there's not a lot of proof. With Marquez, just every tick is in the box for Marquez. The man is a clear steroid cheat. And that's why I've never liked the guy. Never had a good word to say about him. I know he's a Mexican legend. Just don't like the guy. I think he could have killed Pacquiao, and that would have been a disgrace to boxing, really, wouldn't it?
He's still an all-time great fighter to me, Marquez. The problem with that win, the win over Pacquiao, it's the obvious. Like, okay, listen, he never failed a test, right? But it's the eye test, and how many times do these guys fight? Now, all of a sudden, you're knocking them down like it was nothing. The same punches you were catching him with pretty much before, now they're dropping Pacquiao. And, he took a beating in that fight. I'll never forget, right after the fight was over, I just happened to be on Telemundo when it's a channel, Spanish channel, and they're interviewing him, and he said, he did him like, this is like fresh out of the fight. He said, that was it. That was the last punch I had. And he's like busted open. His nose is broken, or looks broken, and he looks like he's having a hard time breathing. He was about to get knocked out in that fight. Yeah. But he landed the punch that he needed to. to get him out of it. You know, that's
Listen,
the situation.
then I'm not taking that away from him. I'm taking away the fact that the guy was clearly on steroids. And like I said, I've been one of the first guys to admit that Pacquiao used to take steroids when he was in his prime. You could tell he did, but I don't think he was on steroids against when he got knocked out against Marquez. I just don't think he was.
I think Pacquiao was on an even playing field with everybody else. That's what I see it. Whether he was taking steroids or not, he was on an even playing field.
But whatever Marquez was taking, I mean, this guy, man, the amount of muscle this guy put on fucking like 20 pound of muscle, man. I don't know where he found it.
And you know what? Marquez couldn't knock Pacquiao even down in their third previous fights, but somehow he just managed to hit him like cleanly and knock him down like flat on his back. Pacquiao is just okay. That and the physique. I'm not discrediting the guy, but still, I mean, if you don't put an asterisk over that win, it's just I don't think you're an honest.
He would have, you know, something. He would have knocked out. He would have knocked out Pacquiao with the first time he knocked him down in the last fight. If it wasn't that Pacquiao saw it. You know, like just look at Pacquiao's face. Pacquiao's like, what the fuck? Like, he knocked him out with a punch he didn't see coming. But he would have knocked Pacquiao out, let's say, if they were in an exchange. And that's how, I'm trying to say, that's how strong he was from the 3 fights he had to the 4th fight. Okay?
Yeah.
How is it that you got that fucking strong? If that punch would have been like in an exchange with Marquez in the 3rd round, I believe it was when he knocked Pacquiao down, he would have knocked him out. He probably would have knocked him out.
And do you know the worst thing about it? After that, he fought Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley demanded steroid tests. So Marquez had to do testing, and he wasn't half the man. Timothy Bradley beat him around the ring, and even hurt him badly in the 12th round. It was a shadow of the man that fought Pacquiao. So there's just another.
Did he get tested, Stu, for that fight?
Bradley made him take tests. Look, he could see what he was on against Pacquiao. We could all see it. If me and you can see it, bro, surely a world-class fighter like Timothy Bradley can see it. You know what I mean? So he's made Marquez do the test, and Marquez has obviously had to do the test because he's obviously didn't want to fight Pacquiao in the rematch where he'd have got a lot more money. He's took the Bradley fight for less money. So if he wants it, the next best thing, he's going to have to take the tests. He took the test. He was a shadow of the man. Bradley beat him up.
Timothy Bradley looked like he was breaking nights. And that fucking third fight against breaking nights in the gym, he was ripped. I mean, what the fuck was that? He was like a mini bodybuilder in that third fight versus
like an Achilles or something.
Yeah, he was unbelievably big in that third fight.
And by the way, before we continue, we got Boxing Style in the hangout. Boxing Style, you there?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Good to have you on board. We're just talking. We're just talking about Pacquiao Marquez 5 and how that fight never ended up happening. Let me just add my 2 cents on this one. I definitely think Juan Marquez was probably on something because he was. Come on, let's look at the facts here, or at the surrounding facts. He goes up to 140 something to fight Mayweather. He's up in the mountains just lifting instead of doing any strength and conditioning. His strength and conditioning was lifting rocks and throwing them in a mountain in Mexico. He was drinking his own piss. He was drinking puke smoothies. He was eating shit sandwiches and a bunch of other things like that. A bunch of Mexican old wives' tales. And he shows up looking flabby against Mayweather. Then he goes with Memo Heredia, who is a known PED or was a PED, not producer, but he used to give out that stuff, and he was training the Jamaican track and field team. And look at those guys; they're fucking huge. You know they're not natural. And so all of a sudden, Marquez goes with him, sticks with him, and in his late 30s, all of a sudden he's looking in the best shape ever. He gains muscle. The knockout, look, he hurt Pacquiao in the first fight. He hurt him in the second fight. So it's not out of the question that he could have dropped Pacquiao. But I'm not too concerned about the punch. To me, it's the physique. That's really the red flag here.
Basically, that was the point I've been trying to make for the last 10 minutes, bro.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But
I mean, look at
it. Doesn't matter though. I mean, Pacquiao was on pets too, so
exactly. There you go.
It's equal. it's fair. If one guy wasn't on steroids and the other guy was, then now that'd be a total difference.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you look at Pacquiao, right? Whether Pacquiao might have been on him, but there was no actual proof looking at the guy that he was taking them. When Marquez, it's just clear as day that the guy was taking a lot of steroids. I mean, fucking hell, man.
I disagree, man. I disagree. You look at Pacquiao, he went up, from 126 to 140.
No, I'm on about the Pacquiao that fought Marquez in the 4-5. I've said Pacquiao was on steroids when he was beating at Margarito and Cotto. Right. Definitely. When he knocked out Hatton, definitely on steroids. But I think he's the fight with the Marquez, he didn't look like he'd been where Marquez had just changed completely as a man, where Pacquiao hadn't. He
I don't know.
A bit soft.
All that shit aside, where you guys rank Pacquiao right now? I always thought about it until I saw this Terrence Crawford fight. I'm like, oh, he's top 5. He definitely top 5.
Yeah, what do you mean in terms of
pound
right
for
now?
Pound for pound, yeah.
No. I mean, listen,
he's top 5, hands down, bro. You can't put him anywhere else.
I agree.
He's gotta be number 2,
top 5,
3, something like that. He has to be somewhere up there.
He's still
definitely.
Yeah, but the guy had a close fight with Jeff Horn, whether you like it or not. I'm a big Pacquiao fan. The Pacquiao in his prime would have took care of Jeff Horn in a couple of rounds.
We're not talking about his prime. We're talking about what he is right now.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you now, innit? He's shot to pieces. What do you want me to do? Just agree with you to keep you happy?
He killed Jeff Horn in the ring almost, bro. With his size, bro.
Did he do what Crawford did, though? Did he do what Crawford did? That's a pound for pound performance.
Oh, I think he did better. I think he did better than Crawford.
I'm not even continuing.
I think he did better than Crawford. That's my opinion. I think he did better.
He just killed those fucking manners.
All right, listen.
I think Pacquiao, you could throw him. Listen, if you don't have him in the top 5, that's fine. But like I still see him as one of the best fighters, and he still might be a big threat at 147. I mean, he's the more proven out of all the guys there.
And then you got to also consider the fact that he's the smaller guy. Who's really smaller? Crawford?
I mean, listen, I've always said
Pacquiao, bro. That's pound for pound.
Hold on. One at a time, please.
There's no comparison when it comes to like being small and like whipping big dudes' ass. You've never seen somebody do it like this. You never seen. I dare you to show me the guy who was fighting way out of his weight class and busting ass the way Pacquiao was doing. Give me one person.
Since Mayweather was pushing that drug test, we haven't seen the same guy.
Pacquiao, you mean the same guy that was caught?
Pacquiao is not a pound for pound fighter to me right now. I respect his career. I respect him moving up. I definitely think he was a dirty fighter, but I think a lot of these guys are. He just may be a little more than everybody else, but yeah, I don't think Pacquiao's pound for pound at all. And I had Jeff Horn winning that fight against Pacquiao.
I had that too, Trap. But then when we looked at shit, that was a whole different thing, man.
Yeah, by the way, we got Trap Media in the house. Just join us. Trap, thank you for joining us. Listen,
what's up, BDA? Shout out to the chat, man. Smash that like button. Show BDA some love.
Exactly. Show me some fucking love. And show the organization, the whole organization, everybody here some love. The thing about Pacquiao is, post-Mayweather, he did look pretty good against Bradley the third time and against Jesse Vargas. Then the Jeff Horn thing happened. But to be fair, come on, the Jeff Horn, he was allowed to do a lot of things that... I do wonder how the fight would have looked had it taken place in Vegas or the Philippines or somewhere else. But the point is this. It happened. Pacquiao lost. And we got to deal with that. And you got to take a look at his resume. He fought twice in 2016, fought only in 2017 and lost. So is that really pound for pound top 5?
Well, I got a question for the guys that think Pacquiao is still good. Who does he beat at 47? Which top fighter do you think are you betting your money on?
He beat Amir Khan.
Garcia. He could beat Danny Garcia.
I would not give him that fight, but I'm saying like the Sean Porters, the Danny Garcias,
Danny Garcia.
I think he'll beat Danny. He beat Danny up. Yeah.
The only ones that I can see beating him is Sean Porter and Spence, and maybe Crawford.
Exactly.
What about Thurman?
I think Sean Porter's a 50.
Thurman needs to be 100%. If he's not, he's going to get weared out by the by the experience. He's just going to get weighed out by the experience.
Thurman is way overrated, especially his offense. He doesn't set up his punches at all. He just go like on a Hail Mary type of style when he just, relies on his power and just go after the guy without setting up shit. I mean, it's an easy victory for Pacquiao for me.
Easy?
Absolutely.
To me, hey, back again, To me, I think boxing style seems to be the only one really representing what the.
Whoop. Oh, shit. People.
I think he was going to say pound for pound list. I think he was going to say before he cut off.
Well, yeah, hold on. Let's
I'm tired of the nonsense. Knock them off.
All right.
What I would say is this. Look, man. Pacquiao has, in my opinion, Pacquiao is still, because of his experience versus the guys that are coming up. Now, that might not work against guys that are going to be really good, that this is the opportunity that they're looking for. And mainly I see that towards Spence and Sean Porter. Okay, you know what? I'm going to throw Terence Crawford in that list too. That maybe those are the guys that I could see beating him, and maybe I'll put my money on them. Come right now.
I'll tell you what.
I see Pacquiao just 3 years ago smoking these dudes.
But
smoking them.
Hold on. Before we continue.
It's a long time in boxing.
No, I agree.
All right, guys. Sorry, but before we continue, Precise.
You never know how that fight plays out, man.
Precise wanted to say something and he got cut off by the hangout. So Precise.
What did you guys hear? I don't know when I got cut off.
You were talking about boxing style being right when it comes to.
I got you. Gotcha. Thank you. Well, I think Trap makes a good point, saying, "Well, who do you think Pacquiao beats at 147 right now?" I think that's a good point. But if you want to talk about that in pound for pound terms, and you have Errol Spence or Terence Crawford on the pound for pound list, the same question for those two guys would be, who do they beat at 160 pounds? Does Errol Spence beat Canelo? Does Errol Spence beat Golovkin? Because you're asking a lightweight, essentially. Pacquiao is a lightweight, you'd have to admit. And he's been overperforming fighting welterweights, no doubt about it. But that is exactly what makes him pound for pound. Let Errol Spence or Terence Crawford move up to 160, where they will have the same disadvantages that Pacquiao has at 147, and now you have a fair comparison. I don't. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, boxing style is the only one representing the pound for pound concept accurately, because it's not. It's not about how good you are in absolute terms. It's how good you are. Relatively speaking, you have to take size into consideration.
See, it depends what criteria you use for your pound for pound list. I don't think there's the exact way that, a set way that we can use it. Everyone's got a different opinion of pound for pound.
Yeah,
and
but
my way of pound
right,
for pound is what have you done? Yeah, but what have you done for me lately? You can't be putting legends in the ring that have basically dropped in performance.
No. Obviously, you're only as good as your last fight. I agree with that. However, you have to look at, if you can't just compare Pacquiao's performance against Terence Crawford in absolute terms against Jeff Horn in absolute terms to Jeff Horn's performance Terence's against Jeff Horn. Let me explain. When you have dog weight pulling contest, right? The American Staffordshire Terrier, I believe, is the pound for pound strongest dog in the world. That's not because he pulls more weight than every other dog. It's because per pound of body weight, he pulls more weight than any other breed on the planet. So pound for pound, that is the strongest dog. So if you're going to call it a pound for pound list, you have to take that into consideration. Otherwise, it's a bogus list. But yes, you're only as good as your last fight. Now, if you're comparing Terence Crawford's performance against Jeff Horn and Pacquiao's, in absolute terms, it was a better performance.
Yeah,
but pound for pound, I think they're comparable.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say, though, bro. That's all I was trying to say. Yeah. That I thought, but like I said, Pacquiao 3 years ago would have done the same to Jeff Horn. This is what I'm trying to say. A lot of Pacquiao fans listen to this show, and I don't think they can let go. It's like trying to let go of your hero. He's not there anymore. That Pacquiao that used to love, he's just not there. You got to let it go. A lot of you can't do that. You get upset when someone says that he's not at his best, or or he lost a
Of
fight.
course, he's not the same Pacquiao, but that Pacquiao was the best fighter on the planet. So
Exactly,
to say
that's
that
what-
he's still top 10, that's not out of the question.
It's not
Because
out of the question. He needs a big win
Yeah.
though. For me, if you get a decent win, then yeah.
Listen, put Pacquiao on drugs right now. He'll look the same as he looked before. But
you think Errol Spence is a clean fighter, bro?
I think
You do.
Let's go.
Trap. Did you see his?
You do.
Did you see his stomach? Did
look,
you see his stomach?
look. Let me say this: until he gets offered the biggest payday of his life and turns that down because he doesn't want to do a drug test, then I'm gonna be like, oh, that's a dirty guy.
So that's the standard.
That's a dirty guy. No, but all of these
that's the
fighters,
standard. That's your standard.
I said last show all these fighters were dirty. You was on there when I was talking about Victor Conte. I said all these athletes at this level are dirty to a certain extent. But I think
so why does it matter that Pacquiao's dirty? Why is that important? If everybody's dirty, why are you picking on Pacquiao?
Sometimes they tweak it a little more. Some people are going a little over beyond.
Pacquiao.
In your opinion.
Pacquiao never showed me a body.
No. Victor Conte was saying that. He was saying some guys do it a little better than others. That's what separates. When they was doing the testing and finding out everybody, he said all the boards are connected. You know, people are getting paid, and you know it's just all one big system.
Well, you do know that Floyd refused drug testing ultimately, right? You do know that, right?
Recently.
Yeah, Pacquiao said, "Okay, let's do drug testing. Let's do VADA," and Floyd said, "No, we're doing VADA." You do remember that, right?
The drug testing company that busts people, he said no to. And ultimately, Floyd got caught doing an illegal procedure. I don't care what anybody says. It's illegal. He should have been suspended. He should have been. Okay? Yeah. Because the same thing he did, BJ Penn did, who takes USADA, same company, and he got suspended, bro. I mean, these are not opinions. These are facts, man. They're not like something you can debate.
You started doing a good job with the UFC though. A lot of them guys start getting caught after they start using the USADA test.
They're doing a great job with the UFC, not boxing though.
But not boxing. You see, boxing is different. Floyd Mayweather used. This is just my opinion because of the way it ended for Floyd Mayweather. But what I see is Floyd Mayweather was using this to his advantage. He was using it to his advantage to take. He wanted to. This is not to say he's not a great fighter. It's just that at this point he wanted to secure a victory, so that way he could continue making millions and millions of dollars, and he had people backing him. That's what he. That's what he had.
I mean,
and he smeared Pacquiao's name as if Pacquiao was the only guy taking steroids, as if he was the only one.
Well, like
I went the UFC. It's a different because Dana White basically owns both fighters, so he's not going to try and get an advantage for one guy if I let one take steroids or the other. You know, for me, I think the VADA testing's probably ruined the UFC. Believe it or not, they've lost a lot. USADA or whatever, whichever one it is, they're both bollocks to me. But they are. But there's probably ruined the UFC for me because a lot of their big names, well, they're all on it, weren't they? And the talent is a bit short.
So these dad bods now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's probably. But with boxing, you know, it's not just one snake you control. There's a fucking basket full of snakes, isn't there? And that's where one guy can get his advantages, and that's what basically what we're trying to say.
Yeah, because that's what Victor was saying. He was saying in the cycling in the 80s, when they finally when they tried to go back and correct it, they would have had to went to the guy who was in 180th place or something like that. That wasn't dirty. Everybody else in between was dirty. So. I mean, the same stuff could be going on. Like I said, everybody has the right to their opinion. You guys think Pac-Man is still pound for pound. I don't see that same guy anymore. And I think he gets washed by most of the top welterweights. And yes, if Spence moved up and fought Canelo, I think he puts Canelo down easy.
Look, Trap. I'm not a Pacquiao fan, bro. I'm not a Pacquiao fan. I liked him. I liked his fights, but I was never a Pacquiao fan. I'm just saying what I see. And from what I see, I think Pacquiao would even. I know I've been hearing that he doesn't want to fight Crawford, but I think he'll do pretty good against Crawford, even if he fought him today. I think he'll beat Crawford, honestly. Spence, no, I don't see him beating Spence. I don't even see him beating Porter. But I do see him, if he has a good game plan, he could beat Crawford. Crawford's a
Straight up,
guy.
though. Sorry, bro. Trap, like for real. I know, like you have a horse in this race, so you're gonna say whatever you're gonna say. But you honestly think Spence could move up 2 weight divisions right now, and he would put Canelo down?
Absolutely.
You honestly think that?
No way. I think
No
Canelo's.
way.
I think Canelo beats him.
Listen,
Canelo,
I'll be rooting for Spence.
Canelo is a tremendous counterpuncher, and he's quite slick with his head movement, his body movement. All right, his feet are slow, but his head movement is.
Why doesn't he go up, Trap? I mean, Canelo loves to fight welterweights, right? So why doesn't he go up, get that $30 million payday, knock him out, and then get another $40 million payday against Golovkin? Why doesn't he do that?
He asked for that fight right after the Lamont fight, and Bernard Hopkins came out speaking for Canelo and said he hasn't earned that yet, so he can't get that fight. But he definitely asked for that fight.
Because he's not worth that money right now.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins said no right now. He said maybe in some time he can get it, but he can't have it right now.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. For what has Spence done to grant?
I was just answering his question. He was saying why didn't he go up? But
yeah, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking to you directly. I'm just saying what has Spence done to deserve a fight with Canelo at 160? It just doesn't make any sense. So I can see why this.
That's funny because he didn't even want to fight Cotto when Oscar.
That is weird.
He didn't want to sign no 3-contract deal with Golden Boy.
Why not though, man?
How many fight deals do you think he's gonna sign with Golden Boy when he's fighting Canelo? If that was gonna be the case with Cotto, he's gonna fight 4, 5, sign 4, 5, 6 if he used to fight the Canelo. I mean,
if you build your star big enough in town, eventually that fight will happen. It'll be one of the biggest fights in boxing in time, not overnight, but in time that fight will happen.
We were speaking earlier about this actually, and I basically said the thing is, Spence has got some problems at 140, 147, and 154 in front of him. I mean, when you name the fighters, there's, like you said, Porter, Crawford, there's 2 there at 147. Then you go 154. You got Charlo, you got Jared Hurd, you've got a fresh Kell Brook. That's not weight drained. There's going to be a harder fight. I'm not saying Kell Brook beats him, but it's going to be a closer fight. That's a hard division for him to conquer, that 154 division.
Well,
so
him and Charlo.
I think we should slow down with this Spence talk going up to middleweight, like he's going to dominate all these middleweights, because going up 2 divisions and dominating the division, it's very rarely done. Very rarely done.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy talk.
I said him and Charlo's not gonna fight for one. That's not gonna happen. But if like he told Kell Brook, if Kell Brook gets a belt, he'll run it back with Kell Brook. It's just gonna be the right fights when he move up. Maybe if Jared Hurd unifies and beats Charlo, that fight will happen. And then after that, maybe that sets up a Canelo fight at 160. But the Canelo Spence fight will happen eventually.
He's got to keep winning though, obviously.
Yeah,
I hope so, man. I'll be rooting for Spence for Canelo because I don't like that bitch, bro.
No,
I'll tell you what, that'd be a very good fight. But like I said, Canelo Alvarez is not Lamont Peterson. Let's get that straight.
Nah,
and he did dog Miguel Cotto. I mean, come on, old Miguel Cotto.
I'll be rooting for Spence if they were to fight, but if I had to put my money on who I think is going to win right now, nah, Canelo beats Spence.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, because Kell Brook was getting to Errol at the start of that fight. He was getting to Errol.
He would have knocked him out.
But Kell Brook is a much better fighter than Canelo.
No, but yeah, nowhere near.
That's just my opinion.
Canelo Alvarez would sleep Kell Brook, and I'm a brick.
But Canelo went 12 rounds with Golovkin in a competitive fight. Kell Brook was never in that fight against Golovkin. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Bucho wants to ask
one question. How is Spence going to beat Canelo or Golovkin? Like, can you break it down a bit? Like, how is Spence gonna beat Canelo? Like, he's gonna walk him down or something? Like,
talking to me? He knocks Canelo out. He knocks Canelo out.
Okay.
He's gonna walk him down.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear.
Bucho, I see what he's talking about. Spence beating Canelo because he could outwork him, I guess, stamina-wise, conditioning-wise, maybe somehow.
And Canelo's not gonna counter him.
Yeah, I know.
Canelo cannot counter him.
Canelo's gonna knock him out.
I mean, what, is Canelo just going to stand there? Canelo's just going to stand there.
10th, 11th round.
But Triple G, he has no chance against.
Yeah, but who hits harder? Canelo? Who hits harder? Golovkin or Spence?
Golovkin.
You'd be hard pressed to fight.
You're saying Spence knocks out Canelo Alvarez, right? I've only seen Canelo Alvarez hurt once in his career when he was about 18 years old. I think it was Cotto's brother, believe it or not.
He got hurt in the Triple G fight, bro. Twice.
I mean, like, honestly, you can count.
Well, I'm talking about major hurt. Not once was he major.
Yeah, he wasn't majorly hurt. He was weird.
Canelo Alvarez has got a fucking granite chin. Errol Spence is not touching that chin. If Golovkin is not rocking him to his boots, then you can forget Spence. So you've got to remember, Spence is hurting welterweights. We're talking middleweights now. This is the
Can you name 5 instances in boxing history where the top welterweight moved up or top any guy in any division moved up 2 weight divisions and knocked out a top guy 2 weight divisions above him? Maybe Sugar Ray Leonard won a controversial decision, but you give me 5 instances in boxing history where that's happened. Because
I'm not saying Spence beats Triple G, but Canelo, that's easy work for Spence. I'm not gonna say that about Triple G. I have more respect for Triple G.
You don't think Spence gets countered?
You're not looking at Canelo's style, boy.
Yeah, exactly. You think he's just a flat-footed guy?
Canelo will smack the shit out of him coming
in.
He'll smack him with a man smack and be like, "What's up?" And that boy's gonna change his attitude. I guarantee.
The thing is, as well, Spence doesn't move his head. Spence doesn't move his head. He's quite easy to hit. I'm telling you, Canelo Alvarez is one of the most accurate punches.
You know what that fight would be like? I'm going to tell you what that fight would be like. Can I tell you real quick?
It'll stop Spence.
It will be like Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas.
Listen, after this fight happens,
and Fernando Vargas would be Spence, and De La Hoya would be Canelo. That's how the fight
recognize when this fight happened. I don't want none of y'all disappearing, talking about y'all sick.
No, I'm saying now. I'm saying right now.
I don't want to hear Canelo was too big. Canelo was a super middleweight. I don't want to hear Canelo was a light heavyweight during the day of the fight.
I don't want to hear he didn't want to sign no 3-fight contract. I don't want to hear any of that, man.
I'm saying right now. I'm saying as of right now.
No, but
now, if there was a fight, I got Canelo whipping.
Probably the perfect builder will be after Spence unifies the 47 division, after he knocks off Crawford. Then that'll be the perfect hype, and going into that, that'll be the end of 2019. So going into 2020, the big fight will probably be Spence and Canelo. So it'll be the near future.
If everything works out as planned,
if everything works out as planned,
even it could be somebody else. It could be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It could be Spence versus Charlo. You know what I'm saying? In the future,
I don't think they're fighting because they so close. They hang together. I just can't see that.
Money could change everything, man.
You think so?
Oh, come on, man.
What about Spence, Jared Hurd?
I like you, Trap. I like you.
Yeah, let's get that next.
If they told me $25 million to fight you, I'm knocking on your door. I'll be like, yo, listen, we need to fight. $25 million. Come on.
Spence, Jared Hurd.
Oh, I got Spence. Listen, I got Spence running through. I'm not worried about 154. I got Spence running through though.
I'm just gonna go back to overrating Pacquiao.
Wow.
Are you sure about that, man? What about?
I think 154 would be a real nice test for Spence.
It'll be a nice test.
I agree. Recognize
everybody at 154, like the top guys, have a really good chance of beating him because they're bigger. They're bigger than him. They these guys are like legit bigger than Spence.
Hurd is. We don't need to see him at 154, man. We already know he already beat Algieri and Brook, and that's enough for me to know that Spence is. He's gonna go all the way to middleweight. We're not even junior middleweight, and knock out Canelo Alvarez, and probably. I mean, this is insane. I mean, everybody has the right to their opinion.
When Bucho in his feelings, boy, he hating on Spence. Don't be hiding after that.
Look who's talking, man.
Don't be hiding after that fight now.
Let me tell you something here.
I guess, right? But
can I just say something? Can I just say something? Can I just say something? Trap is exhibiting what I talked about earlier at the beginning of the show before anybody showed up. The Triple G reflux syndrome, which is when you're so impressed by a guy that you already have him beating everybody. Now, I know, Trap, it's your opinion, but he's got Crawford, he's got Thurman. Hold on, excuse me. Let me just finish, please. He's got Crawford, Thurman, and Porter to contend with. Now, remember Triple G a couple of years ago. He beats everybody at middleweight. He beats everybody at super middleweight. He's going to have to go up to light heavyweight to get a challenge. And what happened? Daniel Jacobs gave him a pretty good fight. Canelo gave him a pretty good fight. Kell Brook for 4 rounds was hitting him, snapping his head back. So before we start with the hyperbole of Errol Spence will only get a challenge at middleweight, and even then it won't be against Canelo. It's only going to be against Triple G. We're exaggerating a little bit. Let's face it. Come on, guys. Let's wait and see.
I didn't say a challenge. I said he smokes Canelo specifically. I never said that he's just gonna run through everybody, but he smokes Canelo. I said Triple G. What I recognize now? You just heard me. I said
no, he did.
I'm not gonna say that he beats Triple G. I said I wouldn't disrespect Triple G like that.
He said that he doesn't. He just thinks specifically he would beat Canelo, but I just think that not right now. Not right now. Right now, I think it's the other way.
Nobody fucking likes Canelo on this show, bro. But nobody agrees with you.
And the Porter fight is tough.
Trap, you said Sean Porter would give Errol Spence a very good fight.
I still believe that. That's a tough fight.
What would Canelo Alvarez do to Sean Porter?
I think Sean Porter beats Canelo too. I don't believe in this.
Oh my God.
That's enough. That's enough.
I know you just said you're not trying to disrespect Triple G, but it sounds to me like you're really dissing Triple G by saying Canelo ain't shit.
Yeah,
I like Triple G.
I think that's where it's going.
You just said Sean Porter. You just said Sean Porter, right? This is a guy that Kell Brook.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I know it's your opinion, but I'm going to put your opinion wrong. As wrong because this is
we can't prove it wrong till it happens in the ring. We can't prove it wrong.
To be fair,
no, you're
let's
right.
Not get into semantics. Let's say semantics.
Well, hold on.
It's an opinion.
It's
interesting. His opinion. He's going to explain his opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Fuck is going on here?
Prove me wrong because we're going to be back here in football. You prove me wrong. Well, you prove me. Oh, fuck, so I ain't.
No, you just said prove wrong. I said everybody's opinion.
You know what? Well, basically, it's common sense, bro. Do you honestly think Sean Porter would beat Canelo Alvarez?
Common sense. Yeah, I just you can hear. Wow.
I tell you what, make the fight and put everything you own on Sean Porter. Put everything you own on Sean Porter if you're so confident.
Hey guys, before we even talk about Spence versus Canelo, how about my guy, the guy that I'm high on and that I'm trying to get everybody on board of is Terence Crawford. He might end up derailing the Errol Spence money train, the gravy train. So again, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here with this whole Spence beats Canelo. And by the way, Bucci did bring up that good question, which is how exactly does Errol Spence nullify Canelo's counterpunching and his body work? And all we heard was, well, he knocks him out in the 10th round. Again, we can go around in circles here about this fight. Let's just say until, well, hold on, excuse me, just real quick, until Errol Spence cleans out at 147, which he's still got a long way to go. I think it's a little ridiculous to start talking about hypotheticals. What if he goes? He hasn't even been at 154 for Pete's sakes. Come on, let's keep it real.
Hey, wait a minute, Trap. How's he fight him? If he does he walk him down or does he backpedal?
Listen, that body work is gonna wear that stamina out. We already seen him get tired.
Yeah, but
over the fight, you're gonna see Canelo get on that ropes. When he get on that ropes against Spence, man down.
Bro.
Will Spence get hit in the process of coming forward? Will Spence get hit in the process?
Oh yeah,
because it seems like it doesn't seem like he's gonna get hit in your scenario.
He's gonna get hit. I even said against Crawford, he's gonna get hit early on. But as these fights wane on, they're going down. It's a body.
How hard does Spence hit at 154 and 160? How hard does he hit at 154 and 160?
Listen, I see y'all in your. We're gonna let this fight go. I'm not speaking on the more. I have.
All right, let's move on. Hey, by the way, okay, we have Jimmy on the line. By the way, BDA, we have Jimmy.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just trying to find the space as always to introduce people. So hold on a second here. Where am I with this shit? Oh boy, I can't find.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. I was gonna play the intro, but I can't find it.
Oh, you got a full house. I came in too late. I appreciate it, though, brother. Thank you. It takes funny as fuck too, man.
All right.
What's happening? I think I came in at a weird time, huh?
We're having an interesting conversation, man.
I heard what you said. Well, I heard what you said, BD. I agree. I mean, I'd like to see the kid get. And listen, I'm high on Spence. Very high on him. But I still like to see him get past Crawford. You know what I mean? That's the guy I want to see him fight before I even think about him fighting Hurd or anybody at 154. 160, that's just, I don't know, whatever. But I just think that's silly right now. You can't, I mean, I wanted to just focus on, I would like to see him fight Crawford.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, before we continue, Pavel, you guys can't see, Pavel, can you talk? Just say something so your face can...
What's up?
There, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it there on the YouTube stream, but Pavel is wearing a hoodie. I think he's wearing sunglasses in the dark, and he's smoking a cigarette. He looks like a character from the X-Files or something. You look like a demon from Poland, and let me tell you something. You're scaring the shit out of me right now.
a beast from the east. No, I'm not wearing hoodie. It's really dark in the night.
Sinister looking fuck, huh?
Yeah, exactly. My God. All right, listen. I also staying on the subject of different weight divisions. I wanted to ask you, sticking to that subject a little bit. Who out there right now has the style? Who hasn't done it yet? Has the style to move up at least 2 more divisions and be successful at it?
What weight division?
Spence.
I say Bivol. I like Bivol. I think he has a good style that he can move. I really like Bivol a lot, and I think if Triple G really wanted to, he can move up one and put somebody.
That's a fucking tough question, that is, man.
Well, allow me to elaborate.
BDA,
yes.
Did you say that we're gonna interview Shaquille Finn?
No, I did not. Is that done? Is that set or?
Yeah, he said on Wednesday we can interview him.
Wednesday. All right. For people that don't know Shaquille Finn, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You do it.
Oh, now I gotta do everything. What's the matter with you?
Tank too. Tank.
He just killed a little fucking man.
140.
Oh, hold on. We're talking about something else right now. Hold on. Just Shaquille Finn, for those of you that don't know, is a up and coming Canadian fighter. Very strong guy, heavy puncher. A very interesting story. Lots of heart as well. He's trying to make it in the top world of boxing. He's done a good job so far. He's already had a couple of downs in his career, 2 losses, but he always bounces back, and he's always an entertaining style. And it's always interesting to talk to a guy who does this on a professional level. So we're going to be speaking with him on Wednesday, provided everything goes to plan. Okay, so yeah, sorry. Getting back to that subject about jumping weights. Trap, you're saying Gervonta Davis, you think he has a style to move up at least 2 weight divisions?
I said Bivol, Tank, and if Triple G really wanted to, he could.
That's true. That's true.
So you're saying Bivol could potentially go up all the way to heavyweight, compete there?
Oh no, I thought you said 1 or 2 weight classes. I think
3.
Bivol could move up 1 weight class for sure.
There's not a lot of fighters now. There's not a lot of fighters I'm looking at right now that I could say I could go up 2 weight divisions and do really well. I'm struggling. I mean, I wouldn't even want to put Lomachenko in. I wouldn't want to put him up in the 2 divisions. He looks small at 135. So I'm struggling to name guys. I'm struggling to name guys who I'd put. I mean, I wouldn't put Crawford at 160 gets killed. Spence could probably hold his own. I still think he loses to Canelo and Golovkin. It's just hard. It really is. Tank's too small. I think to put Tank 2 divisions up. I don't think Tank has the frame to go up 2 divisions. I think
Tank can do it. Tank and Triple G can go up 2 weight divisions. It's possible with those 2 guys.
What? So you think Tank can fight at 140?
Inoue too. I was thinking of Inoue too long before.
Them guys at 140.
Tank, Triple G, Bivol, no, because heavyweight's way too big. Maybe cruiserweight, but that's pushing it.
A Tank at 140, man. He's going to be tiny, man. He's in the size of them 140 guys. Look at the size of that Josh Taylor. Do you know what I mean?
Guy hits hard though, man. He
hits hard at 130. He hits hard at 130. Does he hit hard at 140? I know we don't know that, but my guess is he doesn't.
Guys that I can see going up 2 weight classes is Lomachenko, because of his style, speed. I think he could get away. I'm talking about guys that could get away with it successfully. Let me see after that. Shit, I would just say Lomachenko right now. Right now, I'm talking about like.
Oh man, he's already went up 3, bro. There's no way. He's not.
Well, yeah,
140 is pushing it. 140 is pushing it.
What I'm doing is I'm going by their track work. He's already done it.
Yeah.
So if he could do it again, I'm saying he's the only guy that I feel confident right now.
If he juices, I see Lomachenko going 147. But let's hope he does that.
I think Rungvisai's got the physique to go up a couple of divisions and hold his own, because with the smaller guys,
speed
and the physique. Well, the thing is, with the smaller guys, you're only going up a few pounds. When you're talking from middleweight, you're going up. It's a huge difference when you're going up 2 divisions. You're talking like fucking 8 pounds, and then another fucking 7 on top of that. So it's like 16 pounds you're going up, sort of thing. So. That's a lot of weight, that is. I mean, in the little divisions, you can go up 4 or 5 pounds in a couple of divisions, can't you? So, £6 or £6, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So I think the smaller guys would be more likely to do it. I wouldn't fancy Golovkin in light heavyweight, would you? Not against that light heavyweight division.
Nah,
I would.
He's too old.
He's old, but I still like to watch that shit, man. That'd be pretty interesting.
Like, I'm not saying he won't compete. I'm not saying he won't compete because I think he will. But I mean, what's he gonna do though? I mean, is he gonna if he had a game plan of coming in light and like saying, okay, I won't rehydrate any more than 180, use speed and timing and precision at the age of 36 is what he's gonna need, right? I mean, unless he wants to get fat and move up. That's not. Nah, I don't think. At one time he could have done it, but
I've
not
said this
now.
before, right? About him knocking out Kovalev in a sparring match with a body shot. That was when he was young. That was when he was young. So maybe he can make it up. I mean, but he won't be as good as probably when he was younger. But,
yeah, and let's be was that a fit? Because I actually speak to one of Kovalev's trainers on Facebook. He's a Latino guy, Derek Rosario, I think his name is, and he was telling me that when that happened, Kovalev would just fresh into camp. He'd been there a couple of days, so he'd been on the obviously out of shape. Yeah, he was out of shape. He was out of shape. Golovkin was close to being in a fight in his prime condition, so I don't think you can take too much into that.
And Quan Paxton.
But still, he left that gym because supposedly Abel said every time we put it on him, he didn't want none. Every time they trained, because Triple G, not a lot of guys could last with Triple G in a sparring match.
Nah.
Every time they're going on him, he just didn't want none.
That's a different Triple G though, bro. I think the Triple G we got now, I don't think he's got that nasty. I think he's still a fucking top fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I think when he sparred Kovalev, he was at his best.
Yeah, man. And by the way, we got a new panelist on the line. We got Boxing Comments with a K. Comments, are you there?
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, could you just maybe get your microphone closer to your mouth?
Dude. This is my first time here. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I doing something wrong?
No, well, your sound is a little low. Maybe try to get the microphone or whatever it is you're speaking on closer to your mouth, or maybe increase the volume of the input so that we can hear you better.
I'll tell you what. You guys go ahead and talk for a little bit, and I'll see what I can do because I was on my Bluetooth.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We also got Cameron on the line. Cameron, are you there? Well,
what's going on, man? No intro tonight, nah?
Oh shit! Now I'm forgetting with the fucking intros today. I didn't even get to Jimmy's intro either. I don't know where they are. All right, hold on a second. I got yours though.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
We can't. I mean, I think Cameron wants to remind everybody what he's into. So hey, what's good for the good is good for the gander.
Listen, man. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but I mean, I don't know if you watched it, Stu, or anybody else, the Brits watched it, but I watched the Sky show tonight. I thought it was a pretty decent card. I mean, I thought there was really good fights on it.
Ritson performance was quite good. I saw that.
Yeah, man. You know what? I've not enjoyed a card for a while. Probably because I've been up off the rails the last few weeks, you know what I mean? And now kind of feel alright, you know what I mean? So I kind of enjoyed the fights tonight. But yeah, if anybody missed it, it'll be on YouTube somewhere. There's some good fights tonight. No big names in that, but some good domestic fights. So I thought it was a decent card.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Donald. I see Matt Donald beat Stuart Hall, didn't he? I see that fight as well. And I was watching Josh Kelly in the background while I was on this hangout. He looked like he got 7th round stoppage, but yeah, it was just an average card for them.
Stuart Hall's washed up, man, big time. He really showed it tonight.
Yeah.
I thought the Simon Villini fight was good. I thought that was a draw. The cruiserweight.
Hey, Cameron, was the Joe Joyce fight? Yeah, I couldn't find that live. Was that not live on telly?
Yeah, it was on Dave last night.
It was on fucking Dave, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, man, you didn't miss much, man. Joe Joyce, man. He didn't even land a punch and the guy took a dive. It was a shambles.
Did it?
Oh, what is this? The British Boxing Hour?
Wait a minute. How many fights did Joe Joyce already have this year?
No, that was his 4th fight last night this year.
That's pretty good. That's pretty not bad.
He needs to. Joe Joyce is in a bit of a situation. Like, you know, he needs to fight someone legit. But the problem is he's got such a low profile. High risk, low profile.
Joe Joyce though has got he's got the personality of a damp rag, isn't he? Joe Joyce, man.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be at one for the box office for me. He's just got no personality.
That's true. And by the way, just to clarify to dude, if you're not, we can hear you. We can hear you pretty well. But just a couple of things. If you're not gonna speak, I'm just gonna ask you to please mute your mic because we can hear people's and as well as your background noise. And that tends to disturb a little bit the audio portion of this. So if you could just, if you're not going to speak for long stretches of time or whatever, just mute your mic, please. And then if you
I wasn't even sure you guys could hear me. I had just switched earphones, and I was trying to check in if you guys could hear me now.
Sorry, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Is there no boot show tonight, huh?
Yeah, he was just here a couple of seconds ago for a couple of, well, he was here for a couple of minutes and then he had to drop off again. But going back, sorry to change the subject, but I just wanted to go back to that whole thing about weight hopping and fighters winning multiple different titles in multiple divisions. It seems to me that the type of fighter that can do that has to be a guy with speed and power, but more preferably with speed, because if you go up in weight, yes, you lose some of the speed, but if you're already faster than most people, you can carry over that speed and remain quicker than most guys. Whereas with the power, you know, if you go up in the division, but you're a slow guy, not particularly good at boxing, you're not going to fare very well in a division, because if they take away that power of yours, what else do you have? That's why I think Pacquiao was one of perfect for weight hopping, because he had speed and power.
The Pacquiao method was the right way. The speed.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with you fellas, man. If I might jump in real quick, I totally disagree. I mean, we got different styles out there. If you remember back in the day, Duran, he wasn't an elusive fighter, man. That guy was a brawler in your face all day, knocking motherfuckers out like he did Iran Barkley. Pacquiao, on the other hand, man, he was fast. He had knockout power, but he was very awkward. You know what I mean? And Pacquiao was a pound for pounder. And the reason he wasn't knocking motherfuckers out when he was moving up in weight was simply because he was moving up in weight. He was a smaller cat. Every boxer who moves up drastically up in weight is going to lose knockout power. And when Marquez, man, knocking him out, hey, man, this was the fourth fight. Out of 4 fights, so many rounds, so many thousands of punches. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of punches with the Ocampo Marquez fighter who was tested just as much as Manny Pacquiao. I mean, you guys can't give him one punch? I mean, one punch out of those hundreds and thousands of punches that were thrown all together. He landed that one knockout punch, Holmes. You know what I mean? And at an old age, 40-something, he had to retire, man. He had to retire.
You can't like discredit Marquez's win over Pacquiao. That was a legit KO, man. Steroids, no steroids, whatever you want to pull off. He timed that shit because Pacquiao styles like that. He comes in, he goes out. Comes in, goes out.
Yeah.
He just caught man. That was it.
If anybody was going to land that punch, it had to be somebody that was with Manny Pacquiao fighting in a different exchange for so many hours, training, studying, researching. Who else better than do that? Roman Marquez, man. The hours that went into the research just to fight this guy, man. And to be in the ring with him, with the actual experience, he timed it. But we got to understand, Pacquiao is currently fighting. He still has the potential to be many top 10 active welterweights. Juan Manuel Marquez, I don't think so, Holmes. At his age, he can't even beat the top 20, in my opinion.
And by the way, just going back to the whole, I agree with you about Marquez. This is a guy who's one of the best. He was one of the best technicians in boxing. You give him 24 rounds to work with, or more, I should say. What was it at that point? 40. They were in their 40th round or something. You give him that many rounds, this guy's gonna time you. He's gonna figure you out. And you know, yes, he was slower.
And Pacquiao was winning the fight.
Exactly.
It was a desperate shot. It was a desperate, lucky Hail Mary shot, man.
Well, no, hold on. He wasn't lucky. He did catch him with that same punch. In the same round where in the same round where he dropped when Marquez got dropped. I forget, was it the fourth or I think it was the third or fourth. He caught Pacquiao coming in.
Third round. I think it was the third.
Yeah.
Well, whichever round it was.
There was some look to it, but it was his night. I should have said it was his night. It was his night.
Let me tell you something. I think in this sport and whatever else in life, if you throw a punch in boxing, you make your own luck. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just sorry to interrupt, but I think my connection's pretty bad. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to interrupt people and stuff like that. So.
All right. And by the way, going back to what you said, dude, about Thurman, he wasn't. And we don't like to use the word slick around here because it's a very vague term. But the guy was pretty elusive when he wanted to. I mean, you look at the display he showed against David Moore. The guy was pretty freaking hard to hit. So Duran
ended David Moore's career. He ended it.
Yeah, I mean, he could box. I mean, I know he wasn't, Pernell Whitaker or James Stoney, but he did have a little bit.
Well, there's a misconception.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone that beats a prime Sugar Ray Leonard, mate, can box.
No, exactly. No, but there's a misconception that the brawler is just a flat-footed, standard, rock'em sock'em robot. A true brawler, man, is what Juan Manuel Marquez, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I mean, in your face, but blocking, dodging. You know what I mean? Going under the punches, throwing combinations, actually fucking hitting. I mean, you're in the pocket hitting, but you're not there to get hit. You're blocking, and you're moving and getting out of the way and counter punching, but always in the pressure, always inside the pocket. That's a true brawler.
I've been saying this. There's a technique to brawling, man.
Yes.
It ain't just brawling. Like, you don't just go in there. Like Sean Porter, for example, is a brawler, but he has technique behind it. It's not like he just goes in there. Oh, I'm just gonna throw all random shit.
You know who's Rock'em Sock'em Robot right now? You know who's Rock'em Sock'em champion of the world? Deontay Wilder. That's Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Hey, if you want to talk about the sweet science coming forward, we got a guy. Errol Spence is the guy. I mean, this is a guy who knows how to keep his hands up, roll with the shots with the hands up, take some sting away from them and counter.
Yeah, he's mediocre in my opinion. And I know you guys were disagreeing on my comments earlier. Errol Spence Jr. has not been battle tested. Chris Algieri had gone to war with Amir Khan in a true all-out gunslinging battle, man. That was a beautiful all-out war, but that takes a lot out of you, man. And then to go after and getting humiliated, ridiculed, and pretty much retired for Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao destroyed Chris Algieri. And if anybody says that was a good test for Errol Spence Jr., then I have to disagree. Because Errol Spence Jr., if he really goes up against a true brawler, man, someone with some great brawling skills, you know what I mean? I gotta say either Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, someone with that caliber, you know what I mean? Man, or even he's gonna have trouble. He's gonna have trouble, man.
Danny's old, man. Forget about Danny. Porter's the only guy.
I think you guys keep sleeping on Danny, man. Danny's
Danny, in my opinion, he's a real hey man, Danny, what happens with Danny is that he's not. He's a little bit more flat-footed, but he has a very, very, very well upper movement body, and he times you with those hooks. And with Danny's quick, man. He's quick, but it's that he plants. You know what? Angel Garcia said it very well, and this is something that I will never forget what he said, because he talks a lot of shit, but he said something very smart when he was going up against Brandon Rios. He said it's like going up against a horse that's just galloping, trying to throw kicks. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be throwing kicks. Just look. It's a rhythm to the kicks. And just wait for it. Bam! There you go, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's a way of timing. They're timers. They're like they perfect their timing, and they're in the pocket to do it, and they're not scared. I like Danny's stuff. I enjoy the team that they have. Like, I think it's great for boxing, and I think Danny has the potential to beat Errol Spence Jr. In my opinion, because Danny has been tested, man. We've seen Danny go up against the elite. We have not seen Errol Spence Jr. go against the elite because Brooke was an injured reserve with a fractured face, in my opinion.
But stylistically, Lamont Pearson was pushing Danny Garcia back. He had him all busted up at the end of that fight. And that was only after 2 rounds of putting pressure on him. Errol Spence is a bigger, better version of Pearson when it comes to the inside boxing and the pressure. And he's a southpaw to boot. So, I mean, I don't know if Danny Garcia...
I agree 100%, but that's not the same Peterson, bro. I agree 100% with what you said, but that Peterson is long gone. This Peterson now, he's a stepping stone. It was just a stepping stone. Yeah.
But still,
Peterson back then fighting Errol Spence Jr. now would have been, I think, Peterson would have been the favorite.
Nah,
in my opinion, I think so. With the skills, I don't see Errol Spence Jr. Showing anything more than what he's done over Chris Algieri and Brooke, and to me, that's not much.
Listen,
I don't think
not any era of Lamont Peterson is getting destroyed by Spence. Like Lamont Peterson,
I don't think Spence is good at all. I think Horn beats Spence.
Yeah, but he's not even. He's not even a 147-pound fighter, bro. He's not. He's just a 140 guy. Not even a big guy at 140, really. That's his decision. No, Peterson. So Peterson. Yeah, Peterson's not a 147 fighter, mate. He's not strong enough, and it's easy work for Spence in any era.
Man,
I think Spence is a flat-footed counterpuncher. And I don't think he has. I think he's going to be in trouble versus Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and even the current Manny Pacquiao.
No, wait, hold on, Cameron. You want to say something?
Spence has been tested.
Hold on. Cameron wanted to say something. Go ahead, man.
No, sorry, man. I think my connection's not very good, so I sometimes like for you can hear me straight away. But yeah, I mean, I was going to say I'm surprised, man. I get that. Who is the guy who said that? You're a new guy, right?
El Dude.
I'm El Dude. Yeah.
What's your name, man?
I have like El Dude, homie.
How you doing, man? I mean, I see what you're saying, man. But I think, yeah, I'm a Stu. I think Lamont Peterson, any Lamont Peterson wouldn't beat Spence. I mean, I get what you're saying because to some degree, I don't think we've seen the best of Spence. I think we still got more to see of him, but I don't know, man. I think the only person I think that can beat Spence at welterweight before Crawford, I think 100% Keith Thurman was the guy to maybe do it, but I think that ship sailed. I think Spence beats everybody else.
I think just Thurman's enjoying himself right now. He's not even past his prime. I think he's just enjoying his new life. He's changing. He has a right to settle down, get married. I mean, I know it sucks for us fans, man, but he's human. I think when he comes back, he's still going to be at an elite level where the fans are going to enjoy the same type of fights that he's giving us, in my opinion.
You guys think that Thurman is smashing his wife the same way he smashes the punching bag in training? And that's why he has to come back?
I agree with what you're saying, man. I don't think Thurman's past his prime. I think my connection's bad, man.
This is that we're diehard boxing fans are so hard on these boxers, man. We just critique the shit out of them because we just love boxing. We just can't wait to see them fight again. That's just basically.
You can imagine fucking Thurman and his wife relationship being a bit like John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Just two fucking weirdos just sitting on the beds with flowers in their hair.
But in Thurman's defense, man, he's always been a humble guy. He's always been a peaceful, down-to-earth kind of individual. And I think him going to, I believe, was it Tibet? Something like that, Tibet or something. To find that wife, I think it was just a perfect match for them both,
Yeah, but I personally, in my opinion, don't think Thurman's been the same since he got rocked by Soto Carras. That's when he got that. Was in the fourth round. He got his bell rung. He's changed his fight. He hasn't stopped anybody in 3 years.
But he showed a lot of gut, though, man.
He's changed his way.
He literally showed a lot of gut in that fight. He literally showed a lot of gut. Yeah. I know.
And he's not fighting on his front foot anymore at all. He's always on his back foot, and it showed bad against Garcia, who, by the way, is another guy hasn't been powerful since the 140. So. I just think either one of those guys. He did that against Bundu, I believe. Wasn't it
Bundu? Didn't he do that against Bundu when he said Keith Thurman, before he had unified the welterweight division, I believe, when he fought Bundu, he said, I couldn't knock him out because he was too slick, so I had to beat him with my other tools or something like that. He said he had to beat him on the outside.
Dude? Didn't he get hurt in that Bundu fight?
Didn't he get hurt at his wrist or something?
That's where I believe that's where it started at. It started in the Bundu fight. I think in the middle of that fight, he also hurt him. So I'm not 100% sure, but that was the fight where he started to fight different.
You're right, Matrix.
Mm-hmm. He's starting to find.
I don't know about that, guys. To me, it was the Sean Porter fight. Sean Porter just fucked his ass up for 12 rounds.
But they were beautiful fights, man. See, that's beautiful fights, though, man. For me, that was just Did
you see how Thurman's face looked after? Keith Thurman had a fucked up face. Porter had nothing on him, and they put him out to the hospital.
Yeah, but that's
some bullshit.
But this is the thing with Keith Thurman, though, man. That's why I'm a huge fan of Keith Thurman, because this is what Errol Spence Jr. has not done. Keith Thurman went against Diego Chavez when he was at the top, Soto Carras, when they were killer brawlers, man. These guys were killer brawlers. So he's been tested against the true brawlers like Soto Carras, Diego Chavez, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, even Robert Ghost Guerrero. I mean, these are good.
Useless.
No, but back then he was a. Soto Carras back then. Soto Carras. I'm sorry, Soto. No, brother. Soto Carras back then was like what Orlando Salido was with 14 losses and beating Lomachenko. A big brawler with a lot of losses.
Guerrero's terrible at 147. I've never been impressed with this.
No, that was not as well.
I think the only time I think the only good fight I've seen Robert Guerrero in is when with Berto, I think. But he's not a 147 fighter as well. It just doesn't have the. I mean, he looks big enough. Yeah, he looks big enough, but he's just not strong enough, and you know he's a punching bag. So Thurman, Thurman, he struggled with was it Corrales? Not Corrales. Collazo. Luis Collazo. He struggled with Collazo.
Broke something in
he got hurt with a body shot, didn't he?
He broke his ribs.
Broke something in his stomach.
The Garcia.
Oh, he definitely broke his ribs.
The Garcia fight, they were fucking booing in half the rounds.
Yeah, and
bad.
I mean, you know, Bundu.
That was a sloppy fight.
The Bundu fight, right? I mean, this was a Bundu coming off a fight that I thought he lost against Frankie Gavin. So this is where Bundu's level was, and Thurman struggled in that fight as well. He won the fight for me, but he didn't look impressive. He's not looked good for a while. So maybe I don't think we'll probably get the best of Keith Thurman ever again.
I disagree, brother, because I like you know, I'm gonna throw this out there. I like reading, especially historical books, and a lot of these warriors, man, when you eliminate all the materialistic world, all that flash, all that bullshit, and what Keith Thurman is doing, it resembles a samurai warrior, an Aztec warrior,
but that,
you know, like
that's
a Zulu warrior,
on,
you know.
That's
because he's a warrior. He's a warrior in training.
But
go ahead, Jimmy.
Though. That's not. That's.
So he's not. The point is, he's not a professor, man. He's not a trainer. He's a boxer. He's a boxer living in a world away from distraction. You know what I mean? And his only obligation right now is either his family and his profession, which is boxing. So logically speaking, if he would have been a professional, then okay, I could see the argument. But there's a strong argument that supports the fact that Keith Thurman is a warrior, and he's living in a place where he's not distracted. He's not distracted.
Hold on. Let Jimmy.
It's good for him.
I want to hear what Jimmy has to say about it. Jimmy, go ahead, please.
Keith Thurman is the WBC welterweight champion of the world. That's the green belt to me. It still holds prestige. He put his pants down. Was he a giant piss. No. I think he gave it up. He had to walk away because he was being.
Yeah.
If it's from what I hear is being true, that he doesn't want to fight again till the end of July, because that'll be a 2-year period. I guess how Heyman has the contract signed is if you make X amount of dollars in a certain period of time, it automatically extends your contract solely through him for another 2 years. That's what I was told. And so he doesn't want that to continue, because obviously he's fought once in 2 years. And that same time period,
Spence fought only once.
Oh God, he fought three times.
Well, how many fights has Errol Spence had prior to Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook? One. When he fought Kell Brook, that was the only fight he had within I don't know how many years.
All right, but he was trying to fight. Nobody was fighting him. There's a difference. When you're the WBC champion, you're choosing.
He could have fought a brawler, man. He could have fought a brawler. He could have fought many brawlers.
Bro, he was waiting for Thurman. He was.
Nah, I don't buy that, man. Everybody's waiting for somebody.
Hold on, guys.
Thurman, and then Thurman pulled off.
Listen,
hold on.
But I understand he might have the warrior code, but I go by history and facts in front of me, and I know this: he's a kid who's not knocked anybody out in forever. I mean, I can't remember. 2013, I think, to be exact. He has not looked good. His last fight was almost 2 years, a year and a half ago, and he was being booed in half the rounds. I just don't.
How about Errol Spence Jr.? How about Errol Spence Jr.?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me just say something.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm all set with this guy.
No, because you're contradicting yourself.
You just don't cut over me, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. But that's right.
Contradicting yourself.
El dude. You can't talk.
Could you turn your mic down a little bit? The new guy, I don't know who he is.
El dude. But hold on.
Could the new guy turn?
Hold on. I'll let you go ahead and continue, because this is my first time hearing it. But now, because at first it was too loud. Now it's too loud.
Yeah.
Let me lower it down, son.
Yeah, just lower it a little bit.
Here we go.
How's this?
Can I say something, boys? I don't know, my connection's really bad.
No, I think it's just, you know what, Cameron, everyone's connection here. Hangouts, I gotta tell you, man, we have to change formats. We're trying to look into it, because Hangouts, even when I talk and somebody talks over me, the volume of my sound goes down, and I've tried to fix it on the Hangouts. It's not happening so far. So that's why.
I think it is part of my connection though, because like I start talking to people who talk. So I think it is. I've got an issue on my connection.
Cameron, I just
wanted to say something.
No, what it is.
I think everybody great now. I think we're all. I think everybody sounds great. I think what happens is that if I interrupt, I think it does lower somebody's volume down.
Yeah, because your mic is too loud, man. It's too hot.
Thank you very much.
Your mic is hot. Hold on. Cameron wants to say something.
Am I still loud?
Hold on. First of all, your mic. Yeah, your mic, dude. Your mic is too hot right now. It's too loud.
Okay, tell me when it's okay now, because I'm gonna start lowering it down. Is this okay now?
Yeah, there you go.
Can we hear what Cameron had to say?
What's that?
I was gonna.
All right. Hold on. Here's how it's gonna work. Jimmy wanted to say something because he was, and then after Jimmy, Cameron goes ahead, and after that we'll see who's next. All right. So Jimmy, just finish what you were trying to reply, please.
Well, first off, I'm gonna want him to ask. I'm gonna ask him, where did I contradict myself when I was giving my opinion on factual things of what he's done? We're looking at a kid. I mean, hasn't fought. How long has it been? It'll be 2 years. And the last time he fought against, and you don't have to come at me with that, oh, what about Spence? Because I'm not talking about Spence. I don't give a fuck about Spence. I'm talking about Keith Thurman when he fought Danny Garcia. It was a fucking boo fest, and it was a sloppy fight because he doesn't fight enough, and he's inactive. And listen, I was a huge Thurman fan when he was fucking with Golden Boy fighting on HBO, banging people out. I liked that kid. I liked everything about him. I liked that he used the music.
Did you ask me a question, or is it going off of another one?
I like that he's like he's a thinker. I respect all that about him. But I think he took a shot and it rang his bell, and he's changed his style. And I think the guy who forced him was the guy who passed away, but he's changed his style too much, and he's not as effective at this particular style. Yeah. And he's all wrong for fucking Thurman. I mean, Spence, whose balance is insane, whose fucking jab is unbelievable, who's got a cannon for a shot. And I think he knows that, and I think he's trying to either avoid until he gets Spence up into 154. And I remember Spence was openly saying he was calling out Broner. He was calling out all of them. He was tweeting it out on Twitter. Listen, I'll fight any one of you, any of them. Nobody wanted him because he didn't have a name, so there wasn't enough money to be made to take that kind of risk. And but yeah, so that's pretty much I think what I was going to say. So
did you want to answer your question, or was it just like a statement that you were saying?
You can do whatever you want, brother. It's a panel. I'm just going to.
I thought I could have sworn you were asking me a question, but I didn't know when to respond back. But no, I think you were contradicting yourself, because if you critique a fighter for having low fights within a certain amount of time, but support another fighter, you say he's doing very great within he's been fighting with a certain amount of time equally as much as another fighter, but it's just different. You know, I mean, it's like a domino effect. I mean, if you critique one, critique the other one. That's all I'm saying. But all my argument is that I believe Keith Thurman, he's gonna win. It's boxing. It's not MMA. He's either gonna fight you in the inside, beat you with the aggression, if he can, and if he can't, he's going to fight you on the outside and make it boring for the fans. But for him, he's going to come out with a W, which makes him very, very dangerous. If I were a trainer preparing my fighter to fight against Keith Thurman, I want to have to prepare him to fight a brawler, a counter puncher, and an elusive puncher is going to stay on the outside all day and make it boring, man. Because this guy is so complicated. He has the keys to victory, in my opinion. And I think
all right,
he's going to be just to finish it out. Just to finish my
point. Hold on.
I think Keith Thurman has the potential to be the next Floyd Mayweather, with a lot of hate, a lot of controversy, making him very popular, right? Because of his style. He's very controversial.
All right, before we continue, hold on, Boxing Style. Sorry, Boxing Style. Sorry, but just before we continue, because Cameron's been wanting to say something, and I think I don't know if it relates to this or something else. Cameron, just go ahead, and then we'll continue this whole discussion.
Yeah, man. I was just going to say something off the back of what Stu said about about 20 minutes ago, but I agree with what Stu said. I don't think just talking about Keith Thurman. I also don't think Keith Thurman's the same fighter either. I mean, in terms of hunger as a fighter, I don't think it's the same. You know, when he first came through the ranks, I'm with Stu as well. Yeah, he's one of my favourite American fighters. I was really high on the guy. I really enjoyed watching him. Not just watching him in the ring, but I enjoyed listening to him in the interviews because he was always, you know, well spoken. He was hungry. You could see, you know, his energy talking about the sport. Whereas now, you know, now it's not the same Keith Thurman. I mean, fair enough, he's at the top of the sport, and you know he doesn't need to be like that. But I think you can just kind of tell that his heart's not in the sport. I may be wrong. I hope I'm not, but his heart's just not in the sport like it was. I don't think it bothers him that much that he's not fighting. I think he's that happy in his own life right now that I just don't think he's that disappointed. He's made a good load of money with the PBC over the years because obviously, you know, he was a top fighter and he was the A side and stuff like that against Garcia and Porter. But I just don't think that Keith Thurman physically is the same either. Simply because when you're a young guy and you've had a shoulder injury and an elbow injury, your body's not the same. And since those injuries, mostly his shoulder one, he's not thrown the same, sort of power. He's not had those knockouts.
You're right, Cameron.
Since that shoulder injury. So for me, I'm
he doesn't need the knockouts to win.
All right. Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what Jimmy.
We'll let boxing style. Well, yeah, sorry, Stu. Just let boxing style, and then you go ahead. Right.
Look, Keith Thurman is on the slide. Or you just like you guys are saying, he's on the slide. But his style, even in his prime, when he fights somebody with a pressure style like Porter, Spence, there could be another guy I can't think of right now. Kell Brook could outbox Thurman. Kell Brook could outbox him. You guys don't believe that shit? He will make him look bad.
I don't agree with that.
All right, but hold on.
It's just the thing is, he's on the slide right now. I understand that he has injuries and all that shit, but that's why he's fighting once. His last fight was against Danny Garcia, and he looked all right. He didn't look good and all. He's just whatever. He wasn't he wasn't at his best. Like I admit that, but he still beat Thurman.
That's
He still beat Garcia. He still beat Garcia. In my opinion, Garcia it's just stylistically it's a bad matchup with Thurman.
All right, Stu.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
I thought you were done.
Spence, Kell Brook, even Porter. That's why he doesn't want to fight Porter anymore. He doesn't, because Porter destroyed him, man. If you watch that fight, he hurt him so many times. Like he broke him in a lot of ways, mentally and physically. He brook him.
Yeah, he did. 5 rounds he did.
All right, hold on. Stu, hold on, guys. We can't, guys. Sorry. Cameron, sorry. It was Stu and then Cameron's next. All right, we gotta do it this way. Otherwise, everybody talks over each other with this mic connection.
I'm on delay.
Cameron, let me say this and I'll finish. I'll let you guys talk.
I'm on delay, man. I don't mean to interrupt, man. I'm just on delay, so if I'm talking over you, I don't mean to.
All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What I'm trying to say is he doesn't want to fight with Spence and he doesn't want to fight with Porter. He'll probably take another fight with Garcia if he's really, really okay. But since he couldn't even take a fight with Vargas, I mean, I think this guy his career he's gonna retire. Trust me, you're gonna hear it one day. He's just not gonna.
But you're making it seem like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Stu's next after this. All right. Are you done, boxing?
No, I was just gonna say you're making it seem like Vargas is a piece of shit. Vargas is a.
All right, hold on, guys. You can't jump.
Vargas is a great fighter, but
Vargas
is Porter.
Listen, hold on. You can't jump in after. If I say somebody's next, you can't jump in with another. Somebody else can jump in with a comment because then it makes the person that was speaking want to reply to that. So let's let Stu talk and then it's Cameron. All right, Stu, go ahead, please.
Well, it seemed about like fucking an hour ago that Jimmy made a comment.
Just fucking talk, man. Come on.
I'm just saying it seemed like an hour ago that Jimmy made a comment that I agreed with. Something happened to Keith Thurman in a fight where he got hurt with a shot and it shook him and he totally changed his style after that. And the problem with Keith Thurman now is he doesn't plant his feet anymore. He throws what I call get off me punches. They're just to look flashy and scoring punches, but with no pop on him. He's basically on the move before he's even planted his feet. And I think that's the problem. That's why he's not stopping anyone anymore. Before, Thurman used to let his hands go and be really exciting. Put a lot of venom. I mean, I remember watching Thurman fights and I could feel the punches coming through the TV. And I just don't get that. I just don't get that feeling anymore from because he's not planting his feet anymore. And I think Jimmy was spot on. I think something happened to him. I think he got hurt. And I think a lot of his stomach went. See, a lot of fighters are bullies. A lot of guys that knock people out and look good doing it are bullies. They're all right when they're beating people up, but when the tables turn on them, they crumble. And I think that's the sort.
All right, sorry.
Could I tell you real quick what an old times trainer used to say down when Mickey used to train? He used to say his manes turn white in the jungle, right? Lions, the pride leader, they have black manes. Once they get beat up, within like a fucking season, I guess, I don't know the timetable, their manes turn light colored. So so once a fighter loses, so I remember this guy, Ouchie was his name, he used to yell, his fucking manes turn white, because he could see it, once a dude's been hurt, he fights different. You know what I mean? But anyways, didn't mean to jump that in, I'll get off.
No,
right.
but that's basically the point. You know, some fighters don't react very well to being hurt, and they get nervous about being in that situation again. They change their style and try to be a Floyd Mayweather when they haven't got the skills to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Stu.
All right, but hold on. I just want to clarify.
I agree 100% with
Hold on. Sorry,
100% what Stu saying is correct.
Dude, sorry.
I truly agree.
Dude, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I was just saying that I agree with Stu saying is correct, but that's why it makes Keith Thurman so dangerous.
Dude, here's the thing. I gotta clarify something. My goodness gracious, what's going on here? I gotta clarify. Sorry, I gotta clarify something.
He's just scraping by. A lot of people think Porter won. A lot of people think Danny won.
I don't think you guys can hear me.
I agree.
What the fuck is going on? See, that's the thing.
I agree 100%, but he's gonna do whatever it takes. For his
guys, here's the thing.
He's gonna come out with.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Cameron. People, the fucking signal, guys. Hold on a second. Here's the thing. We've got you guys can hear me on the when you start talking over me. That my signal goes down. Here's the thing. Here's the news. We got about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people on the Hangouts. We can't do this whole thing about somebody says something and then the other person answers back. Like, we gotta go through in order here. Otherwise, it's just gonna be people talking over each other. All right, so. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was Cameron's turn, and then it will be El Dude. All right, so Cameron, if you will. Were you going to say something, Cameron?
Do you know what, man? I forgot what I was going to say, man, to be honest.
I know, it's
so
just...
let someone else go.
I know, man. It's the connections and it's the...
Yeah, but like this, it doesn't become a debate, a discussion anymore. Because
well, that's what I'm saying, but we got no choice, man.
I know what you're
Cameron,
saying.
if I'm going to go next, let me ask you a question.
What the fuck?
If I'm going to be next, let me ask Cameron a question.
But he was going to... All right, he forgot what he was going to say, so let's...
Yeah, that's why. But I was going to ask him a question so he could give him time to answer.
All right, go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead, ask your question. Ask your question, go ahead.
What are his 3 favorite active fighters right now?
What are my top 3 favorite active fighters?
Yes, sir.
My top 3 favorite fighters right now. Well, Lomachenko's 1. Probably Rungvan Sai number 2. And number 3, it's got to be probably Murat Gassiev, to be honest. That's my top 3.
All right. So, what was the point of the question then?
No, because I wanted to know where his style of what kind of style of fights that he likes to watch and you know, because if you like to watch elusive fighters, then you might not see an aggressive brawler, you know, winning a fight if it's a close fight.
All right. Well, listen. Here's the thing. We got more people on, and on account of that, we got Canelo Give Me My Fight, and we also have 100% X. So we'll start off with Canelo. Canelo, are you there?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Good to have you on board, man.
Hey.
And we also have 100% X, who I assume has some choice words for boxing style, right?
I mean, I got some choice words for boxing style because I know he's an Armenian coon. Always saying shit about my brother TC. All right, what's your problem with my brother TC? What the hell's your problem? Okay, and this boxing and this L dude, this dude L dude talking about my brother Spence. What the hell's your problem? Tell me what an elite brawler looks like. Huh?
I'll tell you what my brother looks like. I'll tell you what.
Sean Porter, Daddy Garcia.
I bought TC a lunch.
Boy Spence would knock those boys out. You know what, L dude? I want to fight you. Where you at? Tell me where you at right now.
Salinas Cali 831, homie.
I'm going to
X, what's going on, man? What's going on, X?
Cameron, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut you off. I want to fight L dude. Where he's at?
I'm fighting you any day, any time of the week, homie. Salinas Cali, homie, 831.
Well, there you have it.
We're doing those KSI shit.
There you guys have it.
That one other guy.
There you guys have it. The Crip against the Barrio Hope.
The Crip and the Cholo.
That's right.
I'm mad right now.
The age-old battle.
You know, I've been hearing all these people talking bad about my brothers, Terrence Crawford and Spence. And you know what? I like that dude Trap Media. He likes Errol Spence. I'm down with him, but he be dissing my brother Crawford, so I got to get at him too. Okay, he be talking shit about Crawford. Look, 2 kings are gonna have to meet on top, and that's all that's about. Okay, you don't gotta diss my brother Crawford. You ain't gotta diss my brother Spence. Now, if you want to diss Sean Porter, if you want to diss that coon Sean Porter, that's fine with me. You can diss that motherfucker, okay? You want to diss Kermit the Frog, that Kermit the Frog looking Danny Garcia, you can diss him too. All right?
X, make a Deontay Wilder a sandwich, bro.
Man, shut up, man. I want to fight you. You Armenian coon.
X.
That's the way we preach.
That's right. I want you to do another video, bro.
A real man don't find it offensive.
No way.
We're real men in here.
That's right. Those are real brothers talking. They sound like me. They sound like me when I talk.
BDA, I want to ask X. I want to ask you a question, X. When are you next doing another video, bro?
I'm gonna do another video probably tonight after Spence knocks out this Ocampo motherfucker, whatever.
Yeah,
his name
man.
is.
By the way, man, I think Errol Spence, in my opinion, right now, best welterweight out there.
And all I gotta say is this: Ocampo is one of the dangerous fighters in the world. Nobody wants to fight him. Except my brother,
Come on.
Spence.
All right, X.
Okay?
X.
And you guys don't want to give him credit for that. That guy's a Mexican assassin. Okay, he's a Mexican assassin.
All right.
Ocampo go around killing Mexicans all day, knocking out Mexicans all over the ring. Okay?
All right.
And nobody want to fight him except my brother Errol Spence. Okay.
All right. X, I understand you have to get going. I understand you have some people after you.
My acid reflux is flaring up, and I gotta get out of there.
What's that? All right, take care of that acid reflux, man.
BDA, he's got a point because Ponomarev was supposed to fight Ocampo for the mandatory, and he didn't want to fight Ocampo, so he's got a point.
You see, I know how to connect the dots. But anyway, I gotta get out of here because everything is flaring up right now. So anyway, thanks for having me on, BDA. Bucho, what's up, everybody? What's up,
bro?
El Dude, Boxing Styles, you want to fight me? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do this. All right, peace. I gotta get out of here.
All right, thanks for dropping by, X. All right, Pavel. Well, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Pavel hasn't said something in a while. Pavel, what did you want to say?
Well, no, if I may say at least one sentence, I just wanted to go back to the whole Keith Thurman thing, and I'm just gonna say this: if that motherfucker gets an injury in his training camp before the fight, I'm gonna throw him under the bus. Bottom line, who's next? Go talk.
Pavel laying down the law, man.
I just have to what he said. Billy Joe Saunders been pulling the same shit over and over.
That's fine, and I treat Billy Joe Saunders the same way.
Yeah, I'm starting to go down that route with Billy Joe Saunders. There's only so many times I can defend this guy. If I'm going to call out other people for not fighting, then I'm going to have to start calling this guy out. And man, I think he's starting to get the Keith Thurman fucking disease, where I don't think he wants it anymore. He's made a lot of money. I think he's invested his money quite well as well, because they're quite a clever businessman, believe it or not.
No, I'll tell you guys what happened this time.
I don't think he wants it though, bro. I mean, let's have big fights come in. I mean, if a Golovkin Canelo fight comes up,
I'll tell you what happened. You want to hear it out? This is what happened with this fight with him coming off the Murray fight. Triple G was trying to make an offer with him, and that's why they backed off from the Murray fight. And then Triple G just fucked him over. He fucked him over. If you watch Tom Lofford said that in his recent video. He said they pretty much fucked them over. He didn't say them fucked them over, but they fucked them over, and they went to Canelo.
Well, he's going. Saunders, at least Saunders is trying to fight Golovkin, whereas Thurman, that guy is not even trying to fight anybody. Not even bummed.
The thing is, he'll get 8 times the money fighting Canelo than he will Billy Joe.
Biggest difference in boxing is Andrade right now. Dimitri.
Hold on. Let's stay on one subject. Hold on. Let's boxing style. Say something, then Jimmy, and then I gotta introduce Apology because I haven't introduced him. So boxing style, go ahead, and then Jimmy.
Yeah, can I come in after you've introduced Apology, bro?
What's that?
After you've introduced Apology, can I come in?
Come in and what?
And say something.
Out of the closet.
Oh man, that was quick. That was quick.
You're the one who eats cereal on the shit.
Oh man.
What are you talking about? At least I don't fucking shit from somebody's ass, bro.
Oh man.
Hey, what you wipe your ass? You wipe your ass with a spoon from your cereal bowl.
All right. That was quick from boxing stuff.
Look, all I want to BDA, all I want to know is,
go ahead.
after apologies come in, I want to say something. Okay, none of this gay shit.
Okay, so hold on. Here's the pecking order, all right? Please, because we gotta have some order. I know it's not an organic conversation, but it's the only way we can keep some order. It'll be apology, then Cameron wants to say something, then boxing style, and then Jimmy, all right? So apology, just to introduce you. Thank you for coming on the show, and we'll get your thoughts on all this malarkey when we're done, all right? So we'll, just wanted to introduce you and welcome you to the show. All right, so who was next? Oh yeah, Cameron. Cameron, go ahead. He's on delay, by the way.
Sorry, man.
I know.
Yeah, well, I agree with Stu. Nothing new there, but yeah, I agree with Stu what he's saying about Billy Joe Saunders. I'm kind of getting to that point where just don't really care what Saunders is doing. When he beat Lemieux, I thought, right, this guy's career is going to set up. He's going to set off again, and then they put him in with Martin Murray. They pull out twice, and the guy's in no man's land now. The Golovkin Canelo's made. I mean, Saunders for me, it's just so hard to get into him as a fighter because he's got all the talent in the world. That's obvious there to see. But he's just not been able to have the fights and the activity to show where he's at. He's not fought anyone elite. You know what I mean? It's just so hard to get interested in believing in Saunders when I think everybody, you know, anybody that knows boxing knows that this guy is, you know, is an excellent fighter, but it's just so hard, isn't it, Stu?
Well, it's not just that, Cameron. The guy, I mean, all his career, he's had one decent training camp where he's got nutrition in and he's got into decent shape. His whole career. So he's a very natural, talented guy. Can you imagine what this guy could have been if he took the sport serious? I think he's got the Keith Thurman disease, mate. I just don't think he wants it anymore. He just wants a big fight to cash out on. That's what it seems to me.
Thurman disease.
Hold on.
That's what we're calling it.
The thing is that Thurman.
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
Anybody.
Canelo, sorry about that. Sorry about this, but we gotta maintain the order, otherwise it's all over. But boxing style, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I said that's what we're calling it now, the Keith Thurman disease. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, that seems to be going
around. We need to get
around.
boxing style out of this show.
All right, hold on a second. And by the way, El Dude, El Dude, if you could just mute your mic, please. El Dude, if you could mute your mic, please, if you're not speaking, because otherwise we hear the background noise.
I just want to say,
all right, I don't think
I
you
want to say
heard
one
me.
thing. Fuck you, boxing style, and go eat cereal.
Oh, now wait a minute. That type of language. All right, so it was Jimmy was next, and then we'll get to apology. Yeah, apology, and then we'll get to Canelo. All right, Jimmy, go ahead.
What's up? I haven't heard from Canelo yet. Everybody's already heard me, so I'm gonna just forfeit mine to Canelo, bro.
Fantastic, Canelo, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy.
No
yeah,
problem,
I was just
brother.
gonna say the only difference between Thurman and Saunders is that Saunders at least he was actually close to signing a deal with the Triple G to fight him in August. You know, yeah, he might have faked that injury, but I mean, Thurman's faking injuries and he's not even trying to fight anybody. It's like he's just content with just sitting on his ass and not doing anything, holding that belt hostage.
All right, that's a.
Oh shit, man! This is Canelo.
It's it's Canelo.
I never knew Adrian was
just realized.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't know if you wanted. Yeah. Everybody knows that, right, Canelo? This isn't like a secret that you wanted to keep or something.
I just want to say
no.
All right,
I just don't pay attention, obviously. Apologies,
yeah.
man.
You're out of the loop, man. You're out of the loop. And by the way, dude, could you please mute your mic if you're not gonna be speaking, because we can hear all the background noise, all the noise in your background. Dude, are you there?
Really? I'm by myself in the garage. I don't know if you can hear anything.
I heard like kids screaming or something. I don't know if you got the door open or something, but so yeah, just mute.
It's
just
just
mute
white
your mic.
noise too. When you have an open mic,
I live in the ghetto, man. It's the neighborhood.
That's just
problem,
the panel. That's just the panel's ears screaming out when we have to listen to boxing styles insight.
Oh,
shut up, Cameron. No one wants to hear you, bro.
All right, what's going
you
on
don't
here?
Like my cereal? You got a problem with my cereal? Just because maybe in England they don't have the quality of cereal that I have.
What VDA said that.
Guys. Listen to Truman over there. You know,
hey man, I live in the fucking ghetto, man. If you guys know what ghetto life is,
he's never left the city in his life and doesn't even know what a passport is. Of course, we've got cereals, man.
All right, apology.
Apology. More knowledge.
Apology. Go ahead.
Let's move on.
Oh, there that's his fucking catchphrase now. Apology.
Man.
You tell me to move on one more time.
You can replace it with a soundbite. You could replace it with a soundbite.
one of these shows, Apology would actually bring some insight into the sport.
Damn, Cameron, why do you do me like that?
Cameron's on a mission tonight to just ruin everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm still reeling about Apology Man's quick comment.
I got a feeling Cameron didn't get no titty tonight. That's what happened.
Now wait a minute. Hold on. Let's stick to.
X is right, man. X is right, man. I'm just going to say X is right because boxing style, man. Like, you've got more knowledge about Seal than you do about boxing, man. I mean, you maybe should go on a Seal show. You know what I mean?
My goodness gracious.
Hey, I'm well-rounded, bro.
Have you guys talked about the Ocampo Spence fight?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Oh, you
but
guys
now
are
it's
sleeping on Ocampo, man.
But now it's between sorry, Canelo, but now it's a battle between boxing style and the Brits. Well, hold on, Apology Man, are you on boxing style side or?
I'm just saying, just forget about it, man.
Let's
move on.
Why not, man? Why not defend me?
Have you noticed, right, that Apology? Have you noticed that every Apology always comes into these shows at the time where there's some controversial thing going on?
Yeah.
I know what it is with Cameron. Every time I pick the underdog, he's like, "Why the fuck did you pick him, man?" Because I don't feel like picking the fucking top dog every single time. Sometimes I like to give the underdog a little challenge.
So fair, man, you did say you did basically say I'm gay. So since you call me gay, we've kind of gone at it.
Wait.
Oh yeah, from the closet. Yeah, I did probably say that.
When did that happen?
I admit that.
Just to confirm, I'm not homosexual.
All right, hold on a second. We got some sound bites here. Hold on, we got a sound bite here.
One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill.
Oh, I gotta tell you something. You could get thrown in jail in certain places.
I just wanted to ask Cameron, is that Orlando Cruz in the photo with you?
Oh, come on. All right, you know what? This ain't... Hold on, let me...
What did you say?
He said...
Wait a minute. Why is everybody...
I thought I was brought to you by the Golden Boy Promotions.
Yeah, do you know what, man? I apologise to BDA earlier on for the way I was the other night on the show. But you know, I actually take it back, man. Fuck every single panelist on there except BDA and Jimmy.
There you go.
Everybody else is taking the piss out. And recognise, yeah.
Hey, wait! Recognize was the. Hold on. I gotta say something here. Sorry, I gotta say something. Cameron, they're breaking your balls, man. That's all they're doing. It's a form of what's the word? Friendship, camaraderie. You know, in French is camaraderie or whatever.
It's all bar talk, man. It's all bar talk.
Exactly. My question.
All right, then. All right, Apology asks a question. Somebody will answer it, whoever he's gonna ask it to, and then I want to hear Pavel. Well, that's what we're gonna get to.
When did Boxing Style say he was gay? I must have missed this.
Who cares? That's what you. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta talk here. Hold on, guys. Motherfuckers. Cheap motherfuckers. Let me say something here. Apology, man. Everybody gets one chance. We're 10 people now in the chat. Not everybody gets a chance to speak whenever they want. And that's what you ask? When did he call him gay? What's the point of asking that? How is that relevant? He called him gay.
Hey, I noticed when gay was mentioned, Apology perked up a little bit, didn't he? Got into the conversation a bit more.
Oh, man. All right.
Hey, guys.
Hold on.
Hey, guys.
Jesus, this is like, you know what?
Hey guys, I just wanted to say when BDA yells out of all of us, like we because it might be echo or delay because I have it too, Cameron. But BDA and King Bucho, when they say, "Hey guys, like we should all just out of courtesy because he puts us together, just stop." I'm guilty of it too because of delay, but just because he tries to keep us in, so we're just gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, because you gotta keep in mind, guys.
My delay is so bad, man.
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind, there's people listening to this. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, by the way. There's people listening to this. So if everyone's talking over each other, trying to get their bite of flesh, it ain't gonna work out. It's gonna sound like we're in a fucking... you ever been to one of those airports? I'm not gonna say which country, because then it might be deemed racist, but everybody's yelling, high-pitched voices, trying to get to the buffet. That's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna
That sounds like you're talking about a certain...
No, hold on. You don't know what country I'm talking about, first of all right? And I'm not going to say which country I'm talking about, because it's not relevant to the conversation.
My connection is so bad.
I know, but... All right, hold on. You know what? Pavel is the voice of reason, along with Jimmy, by the way, who made a very good point that there has to be some sort of order here. We can't just be talking all over each other. It's not this ain't a hen house.
Well, a few things I want to say.
Well, hold on. I know you want to say something, but I want to hear from Pavel, he's only said, I think, 3 words since this whole fucking thing started. Pavel, what did you want to say?
Nothing.
Oh, man. You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers.
Chest, man.
Hold on, let Cameron go.
There's a few things I want to get off my chest. I can't listen. My delay is so bad, so I'm going to say a few things and I'm going to jump off.
Go ahead.
But I want to say a few things, right? Pavel, I apologise. I saw you in the chat, man. I didn't mean to insult you. You're not part of that group. Everybody's dropped off. Everybody insulted me. They can get to fuck. But I just want to say in the chat, Chris Gonzalez in the chat is basically saying Cameron is mentally ill. I can't confirm or deny that. So I have to move on about that.
All right, hold on a second.
Yeah,
Cameron, I don't know if you're being serious about fuck everybody, but you know they're breaking your balls. That's the way they do it. Apology was in the army, and that's the way they do it in most places, including.
Hold on. Doesn't have any balls.
I'm pissing about, man.
Oh, okay.
I don't literally fuck everybody.
Well, I don't know. I don't know when people are being serious anymore, man. I mean, I get emails, private messages sometimes from people saying, "Hey, man, I don't like this, I don't like that." I don't know if people are being serious or not, if they're taking offense to what's going on. But needless to say, we're all a bunch of guys here. This is what we do: ribbing. It's friendly ribbing.
I'm just a bit annoyed, man. I'm just a bit annoyed that
Oh, come. All right, okay, go ahead, Cameron.
Yeah, let me finish, man. You complain about people letting me finish. Let me fucking finish. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I was going to say, apologise to everybody to insulted, man. Pavel, you're a good man. Got respect for you, man. So,
all right.
I always love you, bro.
Yeah, fuck everybody else who insulted me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. PDA said he's getting emails. I thought it was like pictures of Cameron and stuff naked.
Oh, you gotta see. Cameron, you gotta roll with that. You gotta roll with that. That's if you take it face on, then that's when it does damage. But when you roll with the punch and you take away. All right, hold on a second. Fuck it. Yeah, I know that was bad choice of words. But take it in the face. Bad choice of words. But I gotta tell you what I'm pissed off about now, because I wanted to let Pavel talk and he threw me under the bus there. Like, oh, I got nothing to say. You always have something to say. All of a sudden you're short on words. What's going on here, Pavel? All right.
I'm getting slaughtered in the chat, just to say. I'm getting slaughtered. I just want to confirm, right, in the chat, people are fucking getting at me in the chat. I am not taking this seriously, man. I've got my whole voice, man, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm pissed off, when I want to kill someone, I've got the same voice throughout the whole fucking same mood, man. I am not taking this shit seriously.
All right, you know what? People are right.
Around, man.
People in the chat room, Chris Gonzalez makes a good point. No, it's John Gonzalez. Right now, what we need is a little Christian BDA. So, allow me to, just a little scripture here. All right? Just a little scripture. Calm everybody down. Because I do believe that in these times, especially in these times of uncertainty, technological development, war, famine, and poverty, I think we need to be reminded about a little something. He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harms. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that you're all a bunch of dumbasses and I'm the only one smart here. So that's essentially what the Bible is trying to tell you. And of course, if you can't tell that I'm kidding. Oh, by the way, John Gonzalez says, I hate Christian BDA. That's because you're a heathen bastard who doesn't respect anything that's holy. All right? That's number one. Number two.
Listen, man, that guy lets a girl shit on his chest.
All right, so apologies saying boring. Anybody else disagree or agree with that? Do you guys want to hear more
I've got an opinion on John Gonzalez. That guy let a girl squat over his chest and pee on him. I've got respect for that.
Well, I mean...
Okay. Now we know what Cameron's into.
Did he really?
I'm not into that. I'm not into that stuff anymore, man. I've just got respect for other people who do it.
All right, hold on. Jimmy...
I don't know if I'm sorry. I think John... That was a hoax on John. I don't think that shit was real.
Yeah, I don't think that shit was real, man. Definitely not.
I mean, I don't see that happening, man.
Yeah, Jimmy, you're going to say something. Hold on, box of stars. Jimmy, you're going to say something.
I'm sorry. You know what? I thought my fucking mute. I thought I was muting. I was like, good for Johnny. I thought that was funny what Cameron was saying. Sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention.
Well, look, listen. We We don't fucking judge anybody's sexual preferences on the show. All right, Canelo, I understand you want to get back to a little boxing. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I was just I know I missed your guys' take on the Spence Ocampo fight. I just want to know like what you guys predictions are.
Well, I think everybody. I mean, I hate to speak for everybody, but I guess they're all picking Errol Spence. But that being said, the discussion really focused more on whether Errol Spence was getting a tad bit overrated, in the sense that most people believe that he's only really going to get a challenge once he moves up in weight. Or
wait, we could pick a round.
Well,
what's the fucking point?
He's a little bit overrated. I mean, his only test has been Brook, and Brook gave him a good fight. You know, he was hitting him with straight shots. He was kind of outboxing him a little bit. But I mean, yeah, like I was kind of comparing him and Crawford. I think they both need a few more fights at 147 to sort of pick who would win that fight between those two. But
right.
I'm expecting Spence to do sort of what Golovkin did against the bums he fought at 160, is just knock him out. You know, that's all he can do right now. That's
Canelo, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Did you watch Spence Ocampo weigh-in?
Yeah, I saw just the pictures. I didn't see the video weigh-in.
What do you think about Spence?
Oh man,
Is there any decent undercard fights on that fight tonight?
He's either a very disciplined fighter or he's just like on PEDs. But that guy does not look natural at all.
Thank you.
But yeah, I
Is
heard
there any decent undercard fights?
Hold on, Cameron. They're talking about Spence and he's.
I said that about a minute ago, man. It's only just coming through.
Yeah, I know. It's delay. Sorry, Canelo, keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the weigh-in, the Spence weigh-in, yeah, he did look, he didn't look drained, but he looked too dry. I mean, I don't know if this guy's using like diuretics or what he's on, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from him if he beats Ocampo. I mean, he's been beating that level of competition the way we expect him to. So I mean, what am I gonna say?
I think you guys are sleeping on Ocampo, man.
Well, come on. What's the matter with you? What is the matter with you?
Ocampo is going to be sleeping.
Man, Ocampo has more to offer, man. I think this fight is going to be similar to Granados. He's going to be tested, man, in my opinion. I'm not saying Spence is going to lose. I'm saying he's going to be tested.
So you think he's going to go the distance? Well, you're saying...
I believe this is going to be the hardest test for Errol Spence Jr.
So now, were you going to say if he just walks right through him like a hot knife and then fall off?
If he knocks him out completely?
If he just walks right through him. I'm just asking if that's what happens. Right will your opinion of him change?
No, because there's a difference between knocking someone out, you know what I mean, just getting under, you know, rather than just walk through him to 12 rounds.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like walk through him, like not making it even close. Like keeping him around long enough to keep the fans happy, and then putting them away.
Well, this is my whole argument.
Something like that. Because I'm just saying that's what most people say what's happening. So I'm just saying I want to hear your response to what most people think is going to happen. That's
been my whole argument. Yes, my answer is yes, because that's been my whole argument. My whole argument is that Errol Spence Jr. has not been tested, and a fight like Ocampo, who is a Mexican brawler coming from a place where he's been tested against these rough Mexican brawlers.
He's a wily vet. There's no doubt. I'm not taking anything away from. And again, I'm just telling you. I'm just saying that's what
my answer was yes. My answer was yes. I would give more credit to Errol Spence Jr. because he has not been tested and he needs these kind of fights.
Excellent.
That's all I'm saying. It's just that he hasn't. In my particular judgment, my particular critique is that Errol Spence Jr. has not been tested like Keith Thurman is. And your critique, pretty much everybody's critique towards Keith Thurman, I'll say, but the guy at least been tested. Unlike Errol Spence Jr., who's been being praised by most of the panel. And my thing was, we had to be a little bit more fair on this particular discussion because Errol Spence Jr. has not been tested. A fight with Ocampo, who I believe has the skills, not only because of the size, he's bigger, he has that length, but he likes to brawl, likes to stick it in there, but he's not flat-footed. But he has a good counter punch. It's not great. He has some flaws in his defense.
I don't want to say I'm speaking for. I don't want to say I'm speaking for the whole panel, but like I know like Stu, Cameron, BDA, myself, like put it this way, like I knew Gennady Golovkin was great before I ever saw him throw a punch during a fight. I just saw tape on him sparring and working out. You could just tell by his balance. So we use a lot of the eye test.
Everybody can see that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm saying. I go by the eye test a lot. So sometimes I don't put as much on who they fought, and you could tell a lot of stuff. But I was going to say something about Spence, and this isn't a dig. I'm not saying I have any proof. This is facts. He does have male gynecomastia. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has pockets of the opposite of males is fucking testosterone. What's the estrogen? I'm sorry, estrogen deposits in his nipples. That happens. In people, listen, what happens if you take a lot of steroids or PEDs? The more testosterone your body gets in, the more your body makes. Every male makes estrogen naturally. So to combat it, your body wants to balance it off. It ups the estrogen levels, and where it deposits is in around your breast tissue. It's called bitch tit in the gym, or it's male gynecomastia. He definitely has it in both breast tissue. But I'm not that. But that being said, it does happen to 6% of the male population. So I'm just saying it's either he's 6% of the clean guys, or he is messing around with some PEDs. And I'm a Spence fan. I'm just putting that out as whatever. But I'm
it's cautious. It's controversial. It's debatable. It's why we're diehards and we critique it because we follow the sport just like that. It's fair. It's fair critique.
The thing I'm confused about here is how Ocampo is a bigger test than Kell Brook for Spence.
Yeah,
because Kell Brook was coming off of a loss to GGG with a fractured orbital, and who knows how fractured the other side was. And Kell Brook, once that fractured bone popped, he gave up. He lost. I mean, he lost the fight because of that particular fractured face.
But it wasn't the same side.
I call it coming off an injured reserve.
But it wasn't the same side.
You don't think that Brooks fights with previous world-class opposition is better than Ocampo, who's just been fighting like Tijuana brawlers?
No, it's not. That's not my point. My whole point is that it's an injured reserved fighter. It's not fair, man. The guy's on a crutch.
Dude, he didn't break.
Facial crutch.
He didn't break the same side of the face. Spence did. He broke the other side of the face.
But that's what I'm saying. But GGG broke the other side of the face. I believe he also fractured the other side of the face.
That's what I'm saying.
And Errol Spence Jr. pretty much just finished it off.
But here's the thing.
Ocampo's not in the same league as Kell Brook. Let's keep it real.
No, but you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that Kell Brook was nowhere near the level of Kell Brook because of his injury.
But that's hard to say because
from a fake broken face.
But that's
one of the worst defeats in his life versus GGG.
Dude, that's subjective though. You don't know if that should happen because if the other side healed, then most likely the other side healed too because they had a surgery on.
But he's coming off a loss from a broken face.
Yeah, but Brook is even with a loss, he's still better than Ocampo, man.
Exactly.
But Ocampo's not coming off a broken face and a loss.
It doesn't matter, man. It's still better than
Yes,
Ocampo.
it does, man. How you gonna say a performance? You got okay. Here's the thing. If the injuries are supposed to be hurting Keith Thurman so bad, he's not gonna be the same fighter. Then how can you expect Kell Brook to be the same fighter coming off a loss to GGG with a broken face?
But hold on. But you keep bringing up the broken face. But he didn't break. Hold on. Let me say something, please. Let me say something. Let me say something, please. Let me say something, please. Let me say. Again, I'm being fucking dropping out here, guys. Hey, guys,
because of injury, because he got injured.
They can't hear me again. What's going on here?
The same.
All right, guys, let me just.
He's not the same because of injury.
Let me just say something here. Let me just say something.
Brook is not the same because of that broken face.
Can I say something, please? Can I say something? All right, I'm gonna fucking mute.
Yeah, but
everybody's muted.
No, I'm muted back. He has
guys,
he has punching
I'm gonna
power.
fucking. I don't know what to do with this fucking hangout here. All right, guys. I was trying to speak, but for some reason my fucking voice keeps going down. Dude, you keep bringing up the broken face. If Spence would have broken the same side that Triple G broke, okay, you have a point. Like with Margarito when he got his eye busted by Pacquiao, and then Cotto did the same and they stopped the fight. All right, that would be a point. But Spence broke the other side. he mangled the other side. And hold on. Let me finish, please. Hold on. Let me finish, please. Hold on, please. Please, I'll do it. Let me finish. I'll do it. Nobody's listening. Nobody's hearing what you're saying. Nobody's hearing what you're saying. Nobody's hearing what you're saying. I'll do it. I'm talking over you. Nobody heard what you just said. Please let me finish. He broke the other side of the face. Moreover, he wore him down with body shots and pressure. So it's not like he just went in there and Kell Brook was finished. Yes, there's that X factor, two X factors. Yes, he did take a beating against Golovkin, and he was coming back down from 160 to 147, where he had to drain himself to make that way. So yes, there is an X factor. But at this point, Ocampo is untested. Just because he's young and just because he hasn't taken a beating does not make him better than Kell Brook, either on paper or in the ring. Now, it's possible Ocampo does give Errol Spence a tough fight. From what I've seen from Ocampo, he doesn't look like a particularly great boxer, a particularly big puncher. So I don't know if he's going to be able to keep Errol Spence off of him. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's all subjective, because we don't know if Kell Brook would have been stopped if he hadn't taken a beating against Golovkin. So I guess we just got to move on from that, and we will see what happens with the Ocampo Spence if indeed it becomes a tougher fight.
Let's be fair, man. Let me rebuttal real quick. Let's be fair. Kell Brook, his resume sucks. Apart from Sean Porter, he's been fighting guys with so many losses, man, that you can't even count on your, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So the caliber and the resume is not in question. My point simply is that it was not the same Kell Brook. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, he was coming off a loss. He had doubts. He's coming off a broken face. He was not the same fighter, man. He was not the same fighter. And I'm putting that asterisk over that win, and I don't call it a significant test for Errol Spence Jr., but I do call Ocampo that significant test. And if he does pass it by steamrolling over, however you guys want to put it, I will give him the credit and say, man, that guy beat a young, undefeated Mexican brawler with height and reach advantage. Man, that's to me puts him in a higher level than what he is right now, which is untested.
Dude, I really can't understand where you're coming from, bro. I really can't. I'm trying to.
Let me just break it down. Let me break it down. What he's saying is, because again, I think just to clarify, he's saying that yes, Kell Brook had a better resume than Ocampo, but he likes Ocampo's youth. He likes the fact that he's a young brawler and that he hasn't taken a beating. That's what he's putting up against Kell Brook's experience and physical talent. So at the end of the day, it's subjective.
I mean, let's be real. One was a world champion, and one will never be a world champion. So we can.
Well, we'll have to see.
And he never gave Sean Porter the rematch.
No, once
he never gave Sean Porter the rematch. It was a close fight. It was a very close fight.
I've never heard Sean Porter really keen to take that rematch on.
Oh, come on. Even Kenny kept on crying over that for still, man. He's like,
Sean Porter didn't want to come.
That's like the biggest whole thing.
Sean Porter didn't want to come to the UK. Why should Kell Brook?
That's business and politics.
Porter didn't want that rematch, bro.
Kell Brook already went to his country and won the belt. Why should he go back there again to defend it? Like Leo Santa Cruz did to Frampton.
Holding Cal up for question.
Go ahead, apology.
Go ahead, who cares who would win?
Go ahead, sorry, hold on. Apology. Go ahead, apology.
I'm just going to ask, who do you think the biggest test for Spence is? Because everyone's talking about this Crawford fight, but I think we'll kind of walk through Crawford and break him down. I think Porter is the one that will test Spence the most and could probably beat him. So what do you guys think?
That's a very interesting question right there. You guys know my position on that, so I'd like to hear from somebody else because you guys know my answer to that.
What do you say?
I mean, who else beat? Who gives Errol Spence a good fight? That's basically what he's trying to say. Apart, he said Sean Porter, and there's no one really else. Is that what you're saying?
Porter and
Crawford.
The most exciting fight.
Oh, come on, Pac still gives him a good fight.
147 division is a lot of gas.
Pac will give him a good fight, man. Come on.
That division is not as
good as Pacquiao.
All right.
Shit, man. I'm just going to come off what Stu's saying, man. I agree with what Stu's saying. I think when Kell Brook, he was entertaining that Porter rematch, but he said, "Look, I went over there. I won a title in his hometown. If he wants the title back, he has to come over in and win a title." And Porter was like, "Nah, you know, the money's over here. If he wants the rematch, you know, it'll make sense over here." Sean Porter didn't want to go to the UK and fight Kell Brook. I mean, Kell Brook would have took that rematch, man. Come on.
Yeah, he would have
done. That's a fact. Sean Porter said he didn't want to go back there. That's 100%. Sean Porter said he did not want to go to the UK.
Exactly.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And let's be real. I think with the eye socket thing, I think Kell Brook's been weight draining himself. It's actually deteriorated his bones. I do think he has got weak bones in his face, that's for sure. Because to get two eye sockets cracked in 2 fights, it's unheard of, really, man. So that weight draining for so long could have been a cause of that. But let's be real, these plates are in there. I mean, Errol Spence hit him on that eye quite a bit that night, and it never gave way. It was the other one that didn't have the plate. So
respect to Brook, though. Respect to Brook. Respect to Brook, man.
I mean, I don't think the eye sockets are going to be a problem. I don't. I mean, I think it was more to do with the weight draining than the eye socket in the fight sort of thing. I think he was doing well, and then when Spence turned it on, put on the heat, he just didn't have anything in the tank to respond. He started getting walked down, and I think that was his problem. At 154, I think he's going to be a lot stronger.
But how many boxers you know will go up against GGG and Errol Spence Jr. toe-to-toe and go all out?
Yeah, that's why you can't. That's why you can't even compare Ocampo to Kell Brook. I mean, Kell Brook would go through Ocampo very quickly.
But it's not the same. It was not the same Kell Brook, though, man. That's what I'm saying. He was an injured guy. He was on a crutch.
This Kell Brook with 2 sockets, eye sockets, would go through Ocampo very quickly.
Yes. Have you seen
because once you get your face broken, it's a whole different story, bro. He's human. He's human.
Dude, I got something to say. How do you judge Ocampo as a brawler, man? He's more of a back foot fighter.
That's because you haven't seen him fight. You haven't seen most of his fights. If you see him, he's a counter puncher, right? He tries to set you up with his reach, tries to keep you on his reach. But as soon as as soon as a boxer tries to exchange with him, he unleashes hell. Beautiful exchanges. Beautiful. About 6, 7 punches nonstop, bye hooks, uppercuts, and he gets hit and he keeps throwing. He gets hit and he keeps throwing. He has that brawler Mexican mentality, man, and he's gonna handle.
Yeah, maybe he could brawl like that, but he sustained brawling the entire time. I don't see that.
He kind of has to.
No, there's been some fights where he has, brother.
Hold on. All right, I wanna let Canelo
like with his local Mexican channels, man, and unless que seas un camarada acá que nosotros que estamos viendo las peleas todo el rato que con la familia y toda la chingada, pues aquí pues con los cuates vemos las peleas.
What? Okay, could you stop speaking Spanish, man? Nobody understands. Yeah. But first of all, they don't swear. They don't swear when they're talking in the. All right, hold on a second. All right, that's great. Listen, I want to let Canelo say something because he wanted to say something. Go ahead,
all I'm gonna say is I don't think Ocampo can pull off what Munguia did versus Ali. I mean, Munguia was kind of like unknown, but at least that guy had a punch. And but
now you're putting words in my mouth, man, because I never said that. I said I said Ocampo's gonna test Errol Spence Jr. just like Linares did to Lomachenko.
All right, now hold on a second. El dude, people are saying, can I just say something real quick? Let me say something fucking real quick. Let me say something real quick here, please. I gotta say something. I gotta say something, please. I gotta say something. El dude, people in the chat are saying your mic is still too fucking loud and that their ears are hurting. So if you could just please turn it down maybe like a third of the volume, the input, or maybe step away from the mic.
I don't think that's a problem.
What do you think the problem is? That it's too hot, or that's going to be the problem. If his mic is hot,
no, I think the problem is that I don't mean to be rude, but he talks too fast, man. As well, I don't know what he's saying. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but.
All right,
just because everybody's speaking over themselves, and I have to just say as much as I can in the short amount of time that I have.
All right, but yeah, you are speaking way too fast, man. It's not like again, like Cameron said, no offense, but it is way too fast, man.
I understand James Tony better than you, and then he's.
All right, see now he's busting your balls, man. Now he's busting your balls.
I just gotta ask Canelo, who'd you have with the Munguia Ali fight?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if Munguia knocks Ali out.
That's
right.
He will do.
But
he
did you say that.
No, I picked Ali just because of the Cotto fight. I mean, his performance. But
guess
I mean,
what? I picked Munguia.
I wasn't ruling out Munguia in that fight.
You give me a hard time, but guess what? I picked Munguia.
Me too.
Did you want to medal?
Wait a minute. I gotta check the records on that one because I don't remember any of you motherfuckers picking Munguia.
I didn't pick it like on the show. I actually picked Munguia. I told you Ali's garbage for me. I don't value Ali after the Cotto performance that he had.
Agreed.
Apology. Do you want to medal?
When I saw Munguia next to him at the weigh-in, I said, "Hell yeah, he's gonna whip his ass."
Hey, Munguia scared the shit out of Spence. That's what Spence is calling. Munguia middleweight. Errol Spence Jr. is calling Munguia a cheat because he was a big giant. Ocampo's bigger. Ocampo's taller. It's showing you he's a little scared, man. His knees are shaking.
All right. Hold on. Sorry. I drifted off there because I was checking something in the chat. Whose knees were shaking?
Errol Spence's knees are shaking, man. When they were in Dallas, when they were looking at each other's face on a stare down, he said, "How long do I have to stare at this guy?"
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. All right.
Knees. Munguia.
Oh my God.
He's complaining about Munguia, saying he's a cheat. He was set up, that Ali was set up because Munguia was a giant. Yeah, and Munguia made weight. Munguia made weight. He didn't come overweight. He made weight. And why would Errol Spence Jr. say it was a setup, that he was a big Mexican?
Errol Spence
why? Because he's facing a big Mexican. He's making excuses, mentally, spiritually, physically. Man, he's showing
mentally,
weakness.
spiritually, and physically, not just
verbally. He's showing weakness.
All right, listen, you gotta stop shouting, man. Come on.
All right, but he wasn't talking about a setup as in, he was saying that Golden Boy set him up because they have Munguia, who's the future at middleweight in their eyes because the kid's a big bang or whatever, and they just wanted to get him a belt, so they soft served him Fargas. That's what he meant by it was a setup. Had nothing to do with what I think you're saying.
It doesn't matter, Jimmy.
Let me ask you something. Do you know how many weeks Munguia had to prepare for that fight?
But again,
you look up how many weeks Munguia had to prepare for that fight, and you'll be like, "What the heck? 2-3 weeks?" Okay.
Jimmy, it doesn't matter because he should be fighting. He could be fighting at 154 too, bro. It's just that he doesn't have
2-3 weeks to make a fight.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm saying what Spencer's saying. I'm not saying.
El dude,
man. El dude, hold on a second. I gotta clarify something. El dude, like again, your mic is too loud. You're talking over people, and even already your mic is loud, and you're shouting. To top it off, let other people speak, and then we'll you've already talked plenty. Let other people talk for the meantime, all right?
Yeah, you got your point across. So let me say what I'm thinking. That I'm saying exactly what he's saying. It's just the thing with Spence. He knew if we possibly something like that would go down with Munguia or someone else, some other Mexican fighter coming up. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It's 154. Go ahead, fight him. 150. It's not 160. It's just one. You're fighting with Charlo on a sparring matches constantly over and over again. What, Munguia is too much for you? Oh, they're gonna set me up and shit. That's bullshit, man. He was scared from Cotto, and he was also scared from whatever they're gonna come after Cotto.
All right.
Hello?
Listen.
I'm sorry, I got checked off. No, I'm just saying what Spence. I was saying what Spence was saying by the setup, that a lot of people were saying that Vargas wasn't going to hold on to that 154 belt. No fucking way. He was the weakest 154 easily, and they wanted, But I'm just saying that's what I think a lot of people were saying when it was a setup. But yeah, I didn't mean to yell. If I yelled over anybody, I apologize.
All right,
Jimmy, don't worry about it, bro. You don't have to apologize on the air, bro.
Munguia is what?
Just the Mexicans gotta apologize.
Oh, come on. I mean, seriously, man. I'm Mexican too, and you don't see. There's no favoritism here, and there's no.
No, we didn't ask you to apologize. We just asked you to turn your mic down. We didn't say, "Can you say sorry for being loud?" We didn't say
everybody's yelling. Everybody talking over themselves, and it's the Mexican and the. Come on.
Well, listen, now you're going to bring the race in. That's cool. But honestly, most people, when it's the first time on a panel, they usually have a little decorum. They usually try to, not sheepishly, but they usually try to, you come on like a fucking tornado, dude. Like
everybody talking over themselves. Everybody talking over themselves and shit. Everybody yelling.
All right.
I get my point across. I'm a fast thinker. I'm a fast puncher, and I'm a fast talker, Holmes. Hey, Holmes, if you guys can't keep up, you guys are being left behind. You guys are being left behind.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm
hold
sure.
On, hold on.
Thank
hold on.
you,
Listen,
man.
listen,
taught
dude.
me a lesson today. Thank you.
Dude, I appreciate your passion and I appreciate that you're passionate about boxing. But this, when somebody points out something to you about your mic being too loud or you talking over other people, don't come back with obnoxiousness and go like, yeah, man, well, that's because you guys can keep up with me. Come on, you're being loud, man. I know there's other people. And you got to keep in mind, too, this Hangouts technology, it's very flicky. You know, it's fickle. When somebody talks, it's kind of hard to tell who's speaking at first because other people's volumes levels go down and there's people on delay. So that means that when they say something, or when we say something to them, they only hear it 5 seconds after. So if they talk over somebody, it's not because they're doing it on purpose. It's because they don't hear what we have to say until 5 seconds after we said it. So, like Jimmy's right, man. Let's just keep it in decorum. I don't know if you were joking around about the Mexican thing, but I'm Mexican, so there's no way.
I know you're Mexican, man.
Yeah,
but I'm the only one disagreeing with everybody else's opinion.
No, but okay,
that's why I'm being like everybody's trying to. Like, you know, gang up and shit. Hey, Holmes, I'm just throwing punches back.
Listen. Just people.
Heck, this is boxing.
I know exactly.
Boxing.
At the end of the day, that's what I tell people all the time. It's boxing. No matter how crazy Listen, we used to have a guy in here who thinks, and he still thinks that Adonis Stevenson is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So we spoke with the guy. Okay, hold on. Yeah. But we spoke with him for a long time until it just got too much because he was disrupting the show. We don't kick people out because of their opinions. We will kick them out if they disturb the show and if they kill the flow of the show. That's all. But so we're not ganging up on you just because people disagree with you. Like you said, don't take it personally because it's only boxing. At the end of the day, who cares? And you might get proven right. Maybe Ocampo will give Errol Spence a very tough fight. You never know. Maybe you'll be proven right and you'll be able to brag about it. Just like Trap Media can brag.
I'm just saying, in my defense, I'm the one getting more of the critique, more of the answers, more of the questions. Let me ask you the question, dude. Hey, new guy.
But you know why? Because your opinion diverges. Hold on. Because but let me explain to you why.
Popular opinion. That's all.
Exactly. It's a different opinion. It's a diverging opinion, and that's why people are asking you to back it up with some facts or something else, to clarify.
I believe I've been doing so.
All right, yeah, you have, so it's good. I mean, there's no need to be no need to pull out the race card and say that it's because you're Mexican.
Yeah, man. You guys don't understand the way I talk because I got a little accent.
First of all, I understand. I understand you fine.
The Mexican guy ain't good enough to fight, but a broken face European guy is better than a young undefeated cat.
Well, first of all, my opinion is better than.
I see a little patriotism.
My opinion is better than yours, but it has nothing to do with being Mexican.
Over here, man. We seeing it. We telling you how it is. Whatever we're seeing is we're telling. Like he has.
And I'm on the other side of the fence.
There's no offense, man. I pick Mexicans all the time. I pick fucking Puerto Ricans. There's no offensive behind that shit.
I've been defending Keith Thurman, blacks out here. I've been defending Puerto Ricans, Danny Garcia.
Good for you.
Is that your point? So is that your point? You're on here to defend the races? Because I'll tell you, Stu and Gam.
If I'm defending everybody, if I'm being fair with everybody, then how am I making a racial? I'm defending black guys, Puerto Ricans.
Because Stu will slam. Stu slams.
I defended Joe Brook,
guys.
I said respect Joe Brook. I said respect Joe Brook. You guys are making a racial, brother.
All right, listen. I guess at this point, hold on. All right. We're gonna end this now. I gotta go. All right, good. I gotta go. By the way, so we have to end this one.
You guys have a good day.
All right, we got to end this.
I'm sure we won't hear from him again, especially after Campo.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Yeah, see you later.
All right, listen. This is why I love.
Fucking what the hell is wrong with this?
All right, hold on.
Whoever invited him on needs to be taken out and be shot. No,
all right, hold on a second. We gotta be fair here.
Fuck out of here.
We have to be fair here.
Look, man.
He made a good.
Can I say something really quick?
I'm Mexican, and I did not agree with what he said about Ocampo and Brook. I mean,
exactly.
Look, we don't ever bring, none of us do. It ain't what it's about to. We don't give a fuck. And then once he brought it over to, and I'm defending Danny and the Puerto Rican, and then trying to say like Stu and Cameron's being, UK fucking guys because of Brook, which is bullshit. Actually, those guys seem to be harder on UK fighters.
This guy's like low place multiplied by 4.
Hold on, Tom. Suggestion video.
No, you want to move on. I get it. You want to move on. Hold on. Recognize Hassan. recognize
when you leave it open for anyone to come in, this is the problem. If you leave a sign on your door saying anyone's welcome, the likelihood is a wrong one's going to come in and make your life a misery. So I enjoyed some of the content the guy had, but in the end, it got uncontrollable and unbearable to listen to. I'm going to keep it real.
I just thought it was funny how he said we can't keep up with him. I mean, how can you not keep up with somebody who said Ocampo is a bigger test than Brook? I mean,
and guys, it was not about his accent. It was not about that he spoke fast. It was about that he was so fucking loud. I mean, dude, he was.
You can be loud, just don't interrupt.
Yeah,
interrupt way too much, man. Way too much.
Hey, guys, are you guys?
All right, hold on a second. One at a time, because then everybody's always trying to talk over each other. Apology, you better say something serious, because if you make a joke about moving on or eating ass, man, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna fucking explode here. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if someone mentions race and it's not obviously a joke, just kick them off straight away. Like, I'm just tired of hearing it.
Well, I didn't know he was going to bring race up. Yeah, but
it's just annoying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't know he was going to bring race up. I mean, I thought he was kidding in the beginning, but then when I saw he was serious, and by the way, let me just say something, because again, Stu said...
just kick him off.
BDA, did you bring him in to create controversy?
I don't know the guy. He had some funny comments in the chat room, and he's a knowledgeable guy when it comes to boxing, but he came at you guys and others with a different opinion, and I don't think hold on, Cameron, please, hold on. I think he thought that we were all just gonna go, oh yeah, you're right, Ocampo's like, if you have a diverging opinion like that, that's so divergent from the norm, you better be expected to be called out and back it up. And again, when I say called out, I'm not saying it's a fucking, an inquisition here. We just want to know what he's talking about. So he explained it. I understood his explanation. I didn't agree with it. So I said, let's move on. But then he said, well, you guys can keep up with me. And he said we couldn't keep up with him. And yet he took offense to us questioning him. That's not how it works, man. Come on. Like, if you're going to say something divergent, then you better be ready for people to question you about it. Now, recognize you had something to say for a while now. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I know his channel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I know his channel, and he's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to boxing. Look, maybe he'll tell you that it's different. He's found himself a lot of times defending his point of view about boxing, and he's been criticized about it as well. He tends to stick up for the Mexican fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but look, like I said, we're fair on it. I mean, Trap Media got it earlier as well, though, bro, for being ridiculous.
And the thing about sorry about that. And the thing about El Dude is that he has a strong personality, right? Like, I don't know if you guys know his channel. He's had different channels before that, for whatever reason he started a new channel. So he goes way back. I'm not defending him at all. I'm not defending him in terms of he did his own explaining. The thing with him is that he's very passionate about the Mexican fighters. But the one thing I will give him, even though he's biased, I think, when it comes to Mexican fighters, in a way, not that he doesn't stick up for any other fighters, because he does. The one thing he does, he does know his boxing. Like, I'll give him that. He can break down boxing fights, and he's been pretty accurate when he makes.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone said, bro, that he doesn't know boxing.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was half the time we couldn't hear the content he was coming out with because it was distorting. It was too loud.
I don't think he knows how to do these formats. I don't know if he's ever done. I don't know if El Dude has ever done one of these before, but I could tell you that. The boxing hangouts, but I can tell you that he's pretty good when it comes to his boxing videos.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
The problem is I don't believe he knows how to do these formats. I don't think he does.
Yeah, well, I think when BDA explained it, you know what I mean? Like, don't talk with, it was just, and then he figured, listen, it's a sign of, I don't give a fuck what anybody says, it's a sign of ignorance to get your point across. You yell at somebody and you talk over them. It's just like that. You're not going to intimidate any of us to go your way. And if you like BDA, you hit it right on nail on it. You come on with some fucking silly thing that is so obviously silly. Everybody goes, come on. And then the fact that he would even go to, oh, it's because they're going after the Mexican. That was just low rent, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy said it well.
Domineering personality. When he said Soto Carras was a world class fighter, I mean, I couldn't believe that.
All right, listen.
BD, you should have been like, I'm from the Mexican cartel. So
oh yeah, that would have ended great for everybody here. Hold on, all right. Cameron wants to say something, and then I think recognize as well later. So Cameron, go ahead, please.
Yeah, man. First, I just want to apologise for anybody I've apparently spoke over. I don't know what's going on with my connection tonight. It's just really been delayed. So if I've interrupted people, I apologise. But yeah, I don't know what I missed here, man. But because I went and made a drink, I came back and they were talking about races and stuff. But
I think you spared yourself.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to apologise, man. Really, because I think my delay has been so bad tonight.
Don't worry about it. And listen,
you sounded cool to me, man.
Well, he's on delay. He's on delay. Like he'll hear something, but he's hearing something from the past. In other words, he's living in the past.
Cameron, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Look how many months I had to put up with my terrible internet. Fucking 3 second delay.
Exactly.
Could barely hear anything. So stop apologizing, bro. We get it, man. Seriously.
All right. Now, recognize you wanted to say one last thing, and then we got to move on. Because again, I don't know where we keep talking about El Dude. He seemed like a, again, knowledgeable boxing fan. I think he got a little too. I think he took this a little personal that we were questioning his stance. But that was all it was. It wasn't coming from a place of malice of, hey, get the fuck out of here. I mean, again, we've dealt with all types of crazy opinions here. I'm not saying his opinion was crazy, but it was different, highly different from everybody else. All right, recognize. Go ahead, and then we'll move on.
All right, do you guys hear me all right? Because I'm not using my headphones because my phone is about to die.
It's a little low, but yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say that was pretty much it. That I fought I've known the El Dude for quite a long time, and I don't agree with everything. I'm gonna say a good 40% I don't agree with, of videos. But the thing is that I think he's really passionate about boxing. I just think that he might not know how to do these formats. He might not know how it works. Maybe he's used to getting into arguments because he's had some pretty entertaining beefs with some other crazy uploaders, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's kind of used to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he might be used to that. Doesn't realize the humor and how the panelists on this platform. We all have a different opinion and different outlook, but we make it work well. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, I tried to be the objective one here as always. I tried to keep it real. But when it's a divergent opinion like that, I do have to ask certain questions to see if where he's coming from. And that's all I was doing. And if other people came in and asked questions, I already said everything I had to say about it. So listen, we do have to go. We've been at this for 3 hours, and I got some stuff to do. We could have go longer, but I'll tell you this much right now. You guys, we always try to end this on a high note. I think we ended on a high note, right? This episode. I don't know. I call it providence, call it luck, call it destiny, whatever. We ended on a high note, and I hope you guys were entertained. Fuck, I can't find the Gladiator quote where he says, "Are you not entertained?" Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
I was.
Hey, go ahead and ask us which round we're picking for.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Sorry about that.
Sorry, can I just say before I leave? I think it's gonna be a second round knockout.
All right. Second round knockout. All right. Oh, come on. We all know who's gonna. All right, go ahead. Give your predictions. Let's go. Let's have it. I don't think anybody's gonna pick Ocampo here, but.
Second round knockout for Spence.
I want to say this fight is an absolute mismatch. Spence will beat this guy no problem. Like, I've watched Ocampo fight, and this is not. Ocampo's a good fighter. Spence is a great fighter. That's the difference.
All right.
What round? Pick a round.
Spence will stop him in the 8th.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Real quick before we leave.
Give your prediction, man. Just give your prediction. Otherwise, we're gonna be here all night, man.
Do you think Spence is good because of his skills or because he is the weight bully?
Oh, come on, listen. That's gonna be.
No, I'm serious.
Apology, but we have to go. Oh, sorry, but we have to go. That's a question that's gonna we could go on another hour on that, just on that subject. So do me a favor. We'll save it for another podcast. But just give us your prediction. Which round do you think, or do you think Ocampo has a shot?
Fourth round.
Fourth round. All right. Who's next? Come on.
I say Spence beats him in the 8th round TKO.
Eighth round. Okay. Stu?
I'm gonna go for a 5th round stoppage.
5th round. We're all over the place with this round.
Change mine.
You want to change yours?
I want to change mine.
All right. So you're gonna tell us which one you're gonna change it to?
Recognize. Pick the same as me. I'm not having that.
Oh, come
on. I'm gonna pick Spence.
Up with X.
7th round stoppage instead of the 8th.
All right. Who's Pavel?
I'm gonna go with Stu on that one. 5th round stoppage.
5th round. Boxing style?
I'll go.
I'm gonna change mine. I said 4 because
yeah, you said 4.
Apology got the same one.
All right.
Now I'm gonna stick with 4, man.
Jimmy, how about you?
I was gonna say 6.
I'll go 6 because nobody's gone 6 yet. So
yeah.
I'll go 6.
All right. I'll go first round then. And we all got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Listen, guys. Thanks again for joining us. Did I forget anybody, by the way? No, I think I got everybody's except Bucho. Listen, I'm going with Errol Spence as well. But just imagine if El Dude gets it right and he actually has it's a tougher fight than it actually when we all expected. Then that would be a highly controversial. And then we would all have to bow down to him and say, "Listen, we were wrong." We'll have to see. By the way, keep an eye on the undercard.
We'll buy him tacos for a year.
Just like you guys were bowing to me with the Vanya's fight.
I was going to say, if Spence stops him in the 8th round, if Spence stops him in the 8th round, I want to say fuck Recognize the Matrix because he stole my pick and he would have got it right.
Recognize is saying that Errol Spence is going to beat this guy and that would put him in the pound for pound thing. All right, did anybody drop off or did they leave?
We don't often get it wrong on here. Let's be real.
Oh, come on. We get it wrong plenty of times, man.
We might get
Cameron is signing up with X. That's all he's doing. He's signing up with X.
I remember how you guys were bowing down to me when I said,
yeah, man.
Vanya's right. The Vanya's right.
Quiet.
Recognize him. I'm going to start calling it Recognize the Matrix.
All fucking wrong.
All right, you know what? Guys, thanks again. Thanks again.
I want to fight you.
Thanks again for joining us, guys.
Let's go, Cameron.
Guys, come on. Oh, they're going to start a fight now? Come on. Listen, thanks again for joining us, everybody. Check out Recognize the Matrix channel. I want to thank Stu, Pavel, Cameron. Check out his channel as well. I want to thank Boxing Style, Apology, Canelo, Jimmy. Who else was
Check out Apology's channel as well.
Check out my Twitter, man. Not my channel, man. Check out my Twitter.
Right.
Check out Apology's channel.
Check out
channel in the world.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, BDA. Thank you, Bucho. Guys, have a great night. Be safe, everybody.
You too. Thanks for joining. Again,
take it easy, man.
Don't forget to check out Apologies. Apology also has a channel. He's saying we're gonna put the link in the description. Who else was here? Precise was here earlier. Who else did we miss that was here?
Trap Media.
Yeah, Trap Media. Shout out to Trap Media. Which reminds me, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page. Don't forget to leave small donations with the super chat feature so we can get this call-in show off the ground. Now, guys, again, in the panelists, thanks for joining us. If you guys want to drop out, I'm just going to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us, everybody for listening. By the way, check out El Dude's YouTube channel as well. He was gracious enough to come in here, and even though it didn't quite end well, he took it to heart. Still check out his channel. I hope he comes back some other time. Let's go to the chat room. Shout out to The Punisher, Chris Gonzalez, Pavel was in there as well, John Gonzalez, Overhand, Del Boys Boxing News, We Degree, Mr. Coxey, Champ Ross, Reese Mack. Did I already say The Punisher? Let's name him again. Neil Mathis was in there as well. RR1000, Quincy Pinola. You guys know who you are. Thanks for joining us. Hakuna Matata, Stu was in there as well. Azi. Oh man, there's too many. Pop-Tart Gun, Graham, Alson. You guys know who you are. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next one, folks. Take care. Enjoy the fights.